Alright. Let me just get this all set up and then we'll be ready to go. Just a little bit longer, just going to quickly send out a little bit of an announcement so people know that we're live, and then we'll be good to go. Alright, yeah, it's Friday. That means that we're going to play some Dwarf Fortress today, and last time we were playing in Soap Fortress, so we've been doing the Soap Fortress stuff, we've been continuing there, but honestly, after everything that's gone wrong in Soap Fortress, I think it's time for us to lay that one to rest and move on. Try and find something else that we can do instead, because honestly, you know, we were in a pretty bad state at the time, so hey, welcome Anubis, welcome. Magic Money Tree. SBTV, I hope he's doing alright. I haven't seen any of his streams lately. I haven't really had much time, but yeah. God. Mate, you want a more militarized play? Yeah, I mean, we can do something like that. I haven't really thought about what I want to do. I mean, we could go for, say, I don't know, like a... I mean, there's lots of things that we could do. Like, we could try and make like a strong dwarven military and conquer some people. We could set up right on top of a volcano. So here we could set up right on top of this mountain. We'd have access to a brook and a volcano potentially if we can get the cursor right. We'd have to move it along like that. Though we wouldn't have access to any trees. Who would we be neighbouring? Only dwarves. That's the problem with being on a mountain, is that only dwarves can really transfer. You know, only dwarves can really get across mountains. That's one of the issues with them. Like, yeah, that means that your neighbours, you know, if you're in like the middle of a mountain, like over here, the only neighbours you'll ever get are dwarves, and it can be kind of tricky to find like a volcano somewhere that isn't in the middle of a mountain chain. But you know, it's kind of fun to do a volcano embark, and then you got access to all that magma nice and close to the surface. But I'm having a look around this world. This was a new world that I generated just before I started the stream. 250 years in. There are a lot of necromancers in this world. I can see that there are a lot of them. Like, there's necromancer towers, and loads of them up here. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 necromancer towers just from where I'm looking here. There's like one down here. There's like one there. There's like 3 more up near here. They all seem to be in this desert area. I haven't really seen any anywhere else. Oh no, there's one here as well. There's a necromancer tower here. Although actually, is this actually a tower that's controlled by necromancers? It looks like it might not be. It might actually be controlled by a different entity. Because, yeah, like, it's not saying that there are any... Normally on the neighbour screen, it'd say that you were next to a tower if you embarked there. So, like, here you can see all the different towers, right? But possibly there's a tower that's been taken over by some other entity. So maybe there aren't any necromancers there anymore. But yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to get a volcano start then. But if that's the case, then maybe we'll go for a... Like here, actually, this is another tower. You can see the eye symbol here, but it looks like it's a tower that's been taken over by humans. So, yeah, it is in a sinister area as well, but... Huh. So yeah, you want us to do like a heavy militarized one? We'll do just like some goblin fighting. Do we want to fight some necromancers as well? Or do we just want to go for killing as many goblins as possible? We can have a return actually of the... in fact, what we can do is, once we get started, we can have a return of the goblin kill count. We haven't had that in a while, so we could have that show up. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we're not going to get a volcano start anyway. We could embark somewhere like this haunted, but I don't really want to have to deal with that. I want to go for kind of like an easier sort of fortress for once. One that's not too difficult, kind of getting away from that. Because we've done Soap Fortress, we did that. I'm actually going to turn on Embark Assistant. Because that means that we can actually see what kind of metals we got. I know it's a little bit cheaty, but For once, I want to have a fortress that just has stuff in it, you know. This one here has gold, silver, copper, nickel, zinc, platinum, tin, lead, bismuth, dolomites, marble. So it doesn't actually have iron, but it has everything else. We would be neighbouring dwarves there, though. Only dwarves. We need to neighbour at least goblins, I think. Otherwise, what's the point, right? Ideally, we want dwarves, goblins, and elves, and humans even. I like pissing off elves too much. It's too funny. Elves are just one of the funniest neighbours that you can have because they're pathetic. Their military is the most pathetic military of any military you can get in this game. Like, they just do not have anything in the way of a functioning military. So yeah, like embarking near them is always nice. This one's got iron. It's got flux as well. Apparently there's a waterfall here. Okay, actually that's interesting. We could do like a waterfall fortress maybe. So if we move the embark area down here, so there's apparently a waterfall. We've got access to flux of some description, so marble. We've got iron. We've got gold, we've got silver, copper, nickel, zinc, platinum, and tin. Cassiterite, so that means that we've got access to... we've got tin, so we can make bronze. Oh my god, we can make so many metals here. We also got access to sand, so we could make glass. Also got access to clay, so we can make porcelain, or not porcelain perhaps, but clay statues. Doing all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Should we embark here then? Should we have like a waterfall? It's been a while since I've done anything like this, like just a very straightforward sort of embark. This will be a lot easier, I think, than any of the fortresses we've done recently. But hey, maybe it's time for us to kind of have a little bit of a relaxing session. So let's prepare for the journey carefully. And we'll take with us, just the standard complement of miners. We'll take ourselves some, masons and that. Although actually, I'm going to have my miners be engravers. I want to have this be a really high value fortress. So we'll get some engraving done straight away. And remember, if you want to have your engravings, you can use the channel points and design your own engraving. Sorry, I got to remind people of that, obviously, 100%. Sorry, I'm in a really good mood at the moment. I was in a pretty foul one this morning, but I'm feeling a lot better now, so... hold on, I'm just going to grab a drink as well real quick, so we can get this underway. Okay, 2 miners. Oh, is the sound alright as well, by the way? It's not too loud, the music or anything like that. You can still hear what I'm saying. We'll take a woodcutter. And we'll make him into a carpenter as well. Oh, actually, we don't need 2 of those. We only need 1 woodcutter, really. Woodcutting... I think you used to take 2 woodcutters, I would say, back in older versions of the game, because you didn't have as many trees. But in this version of the game, when you get so much wood from cutting down even 1 tree, you really don't need many woodcutters. You can make do with just 1. And you can make him a carpenter as well. We'll also make ourselves a dwarf here who's going to be a... he'll be a crafts dwarf, so he's going to be a stone crafter and a wood crafter. And there ought to be a naked statue of whoever becomes the military commander placed somewhere amusing. You can't specify that they're naked, like you can't specify that they're naked in the statue, but we could definitely have an amusing statue of our military commander for sure. When we have a military, but we'll try and get one pretty quickly. Yeah, it's a bit limited, the statue making is, but you can do some interesting stuff with it. Okay, so we've got all those. We've got a miner, we've got 2 miners, a woodcutter, a stone crafter. We need 2 farmers. Where is it? Grower is the name of the task. Growers. So we'll have 1 grower here, and we'll also make this guy into a brewer. And then we'll have a second one here, grower. brewer. We need to switch over here. We're going to get rid of all of this wooden junk. There's no point taking wooden buckets or wooden splits or anything like that because it's so easy for you to make those yourself. Like, it doesn't take much time to just make those. So taking them with you is a waste, 100%. We got those, and then we can take a... I think we'll take a butcher with us. We'll take a butcher to begin with. You know what? Let's do something a bit different. I've got an idea. Let's do something a bit different. Let's take a beekeeper with us. I know that beekeeping as an industry is really pointless. It's not a great industry to set up, but we can do it with a single dwarf. We'll just have one beekeeper, and you know, it'll be something a bit different. We don't really need a cook or a butcher early on. We'll get those later. But if we have a beekeeper here, and then for beekeeping you need to have a beekeeper, and I believe you also need a presser as well. So basically, he gathers the honey, he presses it into oil and honey, and then that can be brewed into mead, and it can also be brewed into. You can also make wax crafts with it, but wax crafts is a really useless labour. Although he can do it, I mean, we can set him up to do that as well, but we'll make him a presser as well. So he'll be a beekeeper presser. I'm going to remove... Yeah, that'll do. And then we've got 100 points left over, so we'll get rid of one of the copper battle axes. We don't need two of those. We're going to take 2 dogs with us. We'll take 2 cats with us. And I'm going to take some goats. I'm going to take goats with us this time. Actually, no. I'm going to take... Can you make goat's milk? I'm pretty sure you can. You can't shear goats. You can't shear goats, but you can get milk from them. That was it. Yeah, that's why sheep are usually better, but goats are cheaper. So we could take a goat. We could take a pair of goats, or even like 4 goats with us, and then we can have a milk industry. We can make some milk and make some cheese with that, and then we've got 10 points left over. We've got pigtail seeds, cave wheat seeds, sweet pod seeds, rocknut seeds, prepared donkey brain, everybody's favourite. Let's take some more beer with us, and we'll take some dwarf ale, and we'll also take some dwarven rum. We'll just increase the supply in both of those. Dwarven wine, dwarven beer, dwarven ale, dwarven rum, copper picks, copper battle axe, pump helmet spawn, rocknut seeds. We've got complement of animals. We've got 2 dogs, 2 cats, and 4 goats in total. So that's that. So if we tag back there, tag back to our fortress and press embark. I haven't named the fortress, so it's just going to be whatever random name the fortress has. I think the music is a bit too loud. I don't know if it sounds too loud to me. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. It might just be because I have new headphones, so it sounds loud to me. You have arrived after a journey from the mountain homes into the forbidding wilderness beyond. Your harsh trek has finally ended. Your party of 7 is to make an outpost for the glory of all of Bir Thashdoth. There are almost no supplies left, but with stout labour comes sustenance, whether by bolt, plough or hook. Provide for your dwarves who are expecting a supply caravan just before winter entombs you, but it is spring now. Enough time to delve, secure lodgings ere the dingoes get hungry. We don't have any dwarven children, so we shouldn't have to worry about dingoes. And yeah, I don't know how many people have ever seen this kind of layout before, because I've never done a fortress on a waterfall, but this is what a waterfall looks like in Dwarf Fortress terms. So if we go down here, you'll actually see that this goes down quite deep. Also, is this... what's in that? River otters, okay. Yeah, you'll see that there's like this is like a waterfall down here. So that you got this like massive thing here. You actually have the water spraying down. If we resume, you'll see the water's like coming down there, and you even get the mist from the waterfall here. Dwarves actually really like being sprayed with mist. It's something that dwarves actually really like, which is one thing that you can use a waterfall for. You can build like your entrance to your, or you can try to build your entrance to your fortress at the cave, kind of like the entrance of the waterfall, so to speak. But yeah, so if we actually go down, you'll see that there isn't much in the way of actual land that's on the... This level here is where the water is, right? So, yeah, we don't have, like... Well, actually, we can build over here. We got the cave entrance here. We could dig into here and build our fortress over on this side here. We could build it on top of this as kind of like a platform, and just have it over the top of the water. Build some kind of structure above it. Or we could build one popular way of doing it is to build like a fortress in this kind of circle area here. So you have like a circle fortress next to the waterfall, and then you can do all that. Really, there's no limit really to what we can do with this. We can do quite a lot. It's one of the nice things about it. It's an interesting geographical feature, and it does let you do a lot in terms of different things. Like, we could build our fortress into the wall here, and then we can have them cross over from here to here with a bridge, an internal bridge down there, perhaps. I don't know. I haven't really decided, actually, because I wasn't expecting to do this kind of fortress. I wish the text would be condensed into narrower columns, physically much easier to read, and no, I've not seen this before. Both sound really cool. I don't know, I could try and mess with my settings a bit to make the text easier to read, but it's kind of tricky to do. I don't like messing with it that much. I mean, I can scroll in. Oh, actually, that only does that scroll in. Yeah, it doesn't do the... Yeah, never mind, I can't do that. Yeah. I don't know, I'm not sure. What kind of metals have we got here? I think this is... Oh, that's hematite, so that's iron all along here. Yeah, not really. I mean, there's some mods and stuff that can help to make it a bit easier, but I haven't really had the time to mess around with those. Bauxite here. I think bauxite can be used for something interesting. I can't remember what we can do with bauxite. In Dwarf Fortress terms. I think you can use it for... Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, you can use bauxite for magma-safe metals. You can also use it in real life to make aluminium, but dwarves aren't smart enough to know how to make aluminium. Well, sorry, as some people in the chat would call it aluminum. Or is it, you know, they would be wrong to call it that, but that's what they call it. Okay, I'm thinking what we'll do is we'll dig in over here, like on this side over here, and we'll start to build a little bit of an outpost over here. We got sand as well, so we can make some glass goods at some point. But we'll dig into here and we'll start building a little bit of a base on the side of this cliff. So let's do here. The nice thing is that there aren't many trees above this, so if we do it kind of like here, we're not going to have to worry about tree issues. We can dig down here, so just like build a kind of like an entranceway, hallway. Should we do like a big entranceway and like do a 5x5 entranceway? And we don't usually do an entranceway that big; it's a bit extravagant. But we could do like a big entrance hallway down here. And that'll be where the fortress goes. So we have got our miners. They should be doing that. That is, if they can get here. That's actually an interesting question. Can they get down from there? Oh, right, yeah, they can't. Because the river itself is in the way. So what they need to do is we need to build a bridge, first of all, to cross across there. Cut across there. So if we cut down that tree there. We're going to build a bridge to just get across by cutting down a tree real quick. Yeah, like that. And then what we'll do is we will go to here, build C, G, and we'll just build a bridge. Actually, we'll do it the lazy way. We won't build a bridge as such, we'll just build a floor across here. And just have our dwarves come and place that. And then they'll be able to cross over and start digging there. Also question, to what extent can you affect the world outside of your fortress? You can do it to a fair amount, really. So, You can actually send your dwarves out to raid places and to conquer places for your civilization. So actually, if we press the map, I think it's W. No, it's C, civilization. So our fortress is located here, right? That's where our fortress is located. It's the continent of swamps, of Savants in the swamp of companies. We press H, then you'll see that this is our civilization up here. Our civilization is all the way over here. We are at war with this group here, so we're at war with the Goblin Fort over there. But there are other civilizations nearby as well, so we actually border a big chain of Dark Goblin pits. And as soon as they're aware of us, they're going to come after us 100%. You can see here that there's a bunch of rumored artifacts as well. So what we could do, for example, would be we could send a force of dwarves to this area here, this Dark Goblin pit, which has got a population of 100, and we could send our dwarves to try and raid it, and they might be able to steal those artifacts and bring them back to our fortress. And you can see here these are all books as well. So they could actually steal these books, and then we could put them into our library, for example. Alternatively, if we did that, then the Goblin civilization would obviously get very pissed off at us. They would declare war on us. They'll declare war on us anyway because they're goblins, but you know they could do that. And then they might send agents to our fortress who will try and infiltrate the fortress. This is a new feature for the villains update, but they'll send agents to our fortress who will try and infiltrate, find out the location of the artifacts that we've stolen, and then try and steal them back. You know, another thing that could happen would be, like, let's say that some kind of historical figure arrives at the fortress and we kill the figure. That could also impact the world state. You know, all these things happen, and whilst we're playing the game, history is still ticking. So civilizations can rise and fall, and your fortress can do well. And you know, if we build a really grand fortress, then our civilization might decide to make our fortress the new seat of the civilization. Our dwarf civilization could decide that they're going to build hillocks nearby. You know, like basically the dwarven equivalent of a hamlet, and then we could interact with the hamlets, or we could take over goblin pits and make them part of our civilization, you know, that kind of stuff. So there is a lot of scope to influence things in Dwarf Fortress, but it's more of an indirect influence. It's not like a game like EU4 where we're controlling the entire civilization, but we can have an impact on the world, and events that happen in the world have an impact on us. So I don't know, let's say that during the course we have a really long fortress, like we have a fortress that lasts like 200 years. Maybe during that time period, a human in a hamlet near us begins to fear dying, and because of his fear of death, he uncovers the secrets of life and death, and then he decides to build a tower near us, and then all of a sudden we got, I don't know, zombies. I mean, that's really unlikely because of the sort of time lengths you'd have to play in order for that sort of stuff to happen, but all of that is happening within the world. Dwarf Fortress is set within a world that moves, and yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It can have an impact. We haven't really explored this aspect that much because with the new update it has been a bit buggy. But say, for example, after this fortress we decided to start a new fortress in the same world. We could actually have migrants from this fortress. We could have people arrive from this fortress who had already been dwarves that we'd had. And, you know, things like that. So those are the kind of things that can happen. You know, there's quite a decent scope for you to do all these different things. But yeah, at the moment we're very early days. It's very early days in the fortress. Alright, the first thing that we want to do is we want to build a pasture. That's as easy as designating an area over here and making that into a, we just press N for pasture, and then we need to set our goats to be put here because otherwise the goats will die. And we can also put our yak cow and our yak bull in that area as well. Animals in Dwarf Fortress are really stupid. Animals that need to graze are really stupid. They won't eat unless you give them an area to eat in. So they will starve to death. And that's why a lot of the time it's easier just to butcher animals the moment you get them. You know, when you get migrants arrive, you'll be like, oh, they brought a cow with them. Let's just kill the cow immediately so we don't have to set up pasture for it. because otherwise it's just going to starve to death in your meeting room. That's also why you often get loads of dead animal corpses in your meeting rooms, by the way, is, you know, you get starving yaks. They just sit there and starve to death, and your dwarves don't do anything about it. Unless you tell them to. But yeah, we're going to be proactive today and prevent that from happening. I want to have a lot of animals in this fortress. The other thing that I don't think I brought any ropes with me, did I? Oh, I do have ropes. Okay, we need to chain up our dogs. But we'll... I'm not sure how long we want to dig this out. Possibly we want to start making a small fortress over here on this side and just have it being like that. We got the entranceway corridor done. We need an area for farms as well. But that's probably going to have to be on the layer above this layer. So we could build like a farm, probably not on this layer either, probably on this layer. Because you can see here that this is all clay and we can grow stuff on clay. This is all rock, you can't grow stuff on here. Well, it's bauxite. So I think what we'll do, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to have some corridors go off to the side here. So we'll have a corridor go off here and then we'll have a upstairs. So we're going to have a stairway that leads just up here, and that's going to be where we're going to have our farms. So we're going to have some farms there, and that's going to be, you know, where we're going to grow some stuff, because we need to do that obviously, else our dwarves will starve to death. Dwarves got to eat. They gotta get their alcohol as well. And we'll also put a chain here, and we're going to chain up one of our dogs on this chain. So yeah, how are you anyway today, Anubis? Sorry, I've been talking a lot about Dwarf Fortress mechanics. I think I was rambling a bit there. But how's everybody doing today? Are you all having a good day today? Alright, let's mine this out and make him look a bit more attractive. It's fine. I do think I ramble a bit. Like, I'm a bit of a rambly person. I can't really help it. Right, we want the upstairs down here. Yep. That's good to hear. Yeah, we're building a staircase here, and then we want it to be just up here. I'm not going to have it go all the way to the top. I'm just going to have it go all the way up to here. So on this layer, we're just going to build downstairs. Yeah, like that. Staircase building is one of the things that can actually be really difficult when you're first starting this game, because like how you build staircases in this game is not intuitive at all. You don't just build like a staircase object. There's an upstairs, a downstairs, and an up downstairs. So yeah, like on this level here, we built upward staircases, so they only go up. And then on this layer here, we need to build up-down staircases, which go up and down. And then on this one here, we need to build down staircases, which only go down. So yeah, that's Dwarf Fortress for you. Why make it simple? Why make it easy when you can make it complicated as heck for no reason? Okay, let's chain up one of our dogs here. Like that. We've got so much ore already. Like, we got so much hematite. I'm guessing that all the other metals are going to be a lot deeper down. So if we want to get gold and stuff, we're going to have to dig down for it. But we've got loads of hematite, which is really nice, just already, because, you know, being able to get that is just a really nice thing to have. Okay, so we got this here. We'll dig this out as well, just so it looks a bit neater. And we'll dig this out here as well. And this is going to be our farming layer up here. I'm wondering if we could build some traps somewhere to try and get some of those river otters. I don't know whether we can domesticate otters. Maybe we can. I don't know why we would. Is it any worth doing it? Yeah, they're not very useful because they don't provide much in the way of food when we butcher them, which would be the reason to do it. Like, I don't think we can war train them either. We can't have... I don't want to build that there. Although maybe I could build like some bedrooms there for my farmers. Maybe I could have some very... I mean, I could build a guild hall there, for example, if I wanted to. Let's try and make this look a bit kind of different, instead of just having very straight corridors. So we'll have it like that. And... like that. I kind of want to make it look a bit... We've got a lot of space in this map. We've got a lot of space to work with. It's not like Soap Fortress, where obviously we were constrained by the need to build things out of soap. So we can actually do a lot and try and have some fancy looking rooms and stuff. Although I don't really like that as such. I think that's probably a bit too much. But I think that looks alright. So we can have it like that, and then we can have like a stockpile room just coming up here. Like that. I'm not so sure. I do like that, I do like that. We can have the farm just in the middle of here. And then over here we can have like a stockpile for seeds, and then we can have a stockpile for food over here. Or actually we can have the stockpile for food over on this side, for plants. And then we could actually have that connect up to here like that. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Nah, that looks kind of daft. Let's just go with that shape for now. I like that shape. It's a kind of interesting shape. It's not efficient. Yeah, new fortress. War otters sound hilarious though. Yeah, it would be really nice to have war otters, but yeah. I mean, what we could do is if we had if we domesticated some otters, we could just dump them on top of like some goblin invaders, I guess. But I don't know. I don't think that'd be that useful. Just dump a bunch of otters on top of them, see what happens. I think the goblins would win. But I mean, I've tried that kind of stuff before. I remember in one fortress we had a bunch of trained wolverines, and we tried to pit them against some goblin invaders, and it didn't go very well. It's always nice to dig out these layers as well, because it takes dwarves a lot less time to dig. Because it's easier to dig mud than it is to dig rock, so they don't take as long to dig. So let's put a stockpile up here, and this is going to be a food stockpile, but we're going to block everything except for seeds, and this is just going to be for seeds. It's going to be a seed stockpile. So that's going to be that. Yeah, everything else is blocked. Yep. Then we're just going to put that up here. So we're going to have a seed stockpile up here for seeds. Is that 1, 2, 3, 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's the same size. And then on this side here, we're going to have another stockpile, which is going to be, we'll block that, and we're going to enable this for, we'll enable this one for, where is it? Plants. We want plants. So yeah, permit plants. Because then they will just, you know, any kind of plants that we grow, they'll be stored there. Then we need to make a farm plot, which we can just plop down here. That's quite a big farm plot, honestly. We don't need one that big, so we'll just have like a small one in the middle. And that's going to be for our... We're going to grow plump helmets there. And, you know, we'll be able to get some stuff that way. We can make some other farm plots, maybe. We could have like a farm plot to the north here. I would like to put down some... I'd like to put down some distilleries here of some description. So we could have like some distilleries here, and then we could connect it up over here to this room. But I'm not quite sure how best to approach that. 2, 3 there. Distilleries there. Now we could do it like that, I suppose, and just dig this out a bit. I suppose that works, actually. Yeah, I suppose that works. Hmm. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, like that. And then we can have some. We can have our brewing rooms in there. We could have some other stuff in there, maybe. We could have. Actually, we could put some drink stockpiles in there. Actually, we could put the drink stockpiles just directly across, couldn't we? Like that. But yeah, this fort is it's not in a super dangerous place. We've got goblin neighbors, we've got elf neighbors. We don't have necromancers, for example. But we do have plenty of metal, and we have a waterfall over here. You can see the waterfall over here. So we've got plenty of water for as well. If we wanted to try something with that, possibly we could. I don't know what we would do with it, but we could do something with it. I like this design already. It's kind of an interesting shape. We're kind of using unorthodox shapes, and that makes the fortress look a bit more like a real place instead of just like a fake place, if that makes sense. Like, that's something that always gets to me, is like how real of a place is it? You know, is this what a fortress would look like if it was made by dwarves? Would dwarves build a fortress like this or like that? And that's the kind of stuff that I want to do. I want to make a fortress that... I mean, then again, a lot of my fortresses are places that no dwarf would ever conceivably live, so I'm not sure what I'm talking about, really. I don't know. I don't think many dwarves would live in a fortress made out of soap, but, you know, they might... I don't know, maybe they would. But we'll have like a really open sort of fortress with lots of space in it. So it won't be a cramped fortress. There's going to be lots of rooms. Just trying to use space in a way that is a bit more interesting than, you know, just the kind of square blocks. We'll make these out of. We'll just make them out of wood. There we go. We've got 2 stills there. We could probably build another farming plot and then start growing quarry rock nuts. Rock nuts are quite good for food, a very good food source. Although you need to process them, which is the only thing about them. You need to, get them processed. But we'll have that there. And over here, have that there. We've got the stills there. We need to get bedrooms as well. We're going to have to get some workshops too. But we'll probably have our workshop somewhere else. Possibly. I'm not quite sure on that. But let's dig out this some more down there. And then we'll have like a really long corridor just leading all the way down here. I would like to build some stuff over here, just on top of the water here. So what we'll do is we'll build this will be like the grand central corridor sort of way that we're doing it here. So we'll build it like that, and then that way we'll have, we'll have plenty of space to work around. Perhaps the tavern, yeah. I mean, we could definitely build a tavern for sure. There'd be nothing stopping us from, doing those kind of things. Like that. Let's have it kind of bend a little. We do want to have a tavern near the entrance, although we could build the tavern outside. We could build the tavern as a permanent structure and make it out of wood or something like that. Hold on a second. Yeah, we'll just do it like this. Okay, so we got that set up there. We can't start brewing yet, but we'll be able to as soon as we got some of these done. So we're going to have plump helmets, plump helmets, plump helmets, and then plump helmets every day of the year, all year round. Let's get ourselves a beekeeping area set up as well. Although I do need to we're going to have to make some workshops. I'm not quite sure where we're going to place them. Maybe we want to have like the workshop layer just on this level here. Like we could have a workshop area just kind of sitting around here. Maybe just have it come off of this here. So we've already got this corridor here. So we could have like a workshop area in this space that's kind of between this and that. Possibly like this, maybe. I'm trying to make this match up on that side. This is a lot of digging for our dwarves to be doing. And at the moment they're storing items in stockpile instead of digging. I'm going to tell my miners that they're not allowed to do that anymore. So let me just quickly open Dwarf Therapist real quick. And let's grab our miners. So where's our miners then? We got two of them here. So yeah, they're not allowed to do any of these. I just want them to only dig really at the moment. They just need to focus on digging. Because we've got so much that we want to dig out. This is going to be a really big fortress in terms of just space. And, it's not going to be like my usual fortresses that are really cramped. I usually make very cramped sort of fortresses. But this is going to be entirely different. It's going to take them so long to dig this out. At least they'll be very good miners by the time they finished it. I guess that's the nice thing about it. At the moment they're adepts, so they've already gained 2 levels in mining. So they're at level 7 basically. It goes up to level 20. Is the highest level that you can be on any skill. Skills degrade over time as well if you don't use them. But that's not going to be a problem for them. We've also got our beekeeper dwarf who we need to set up somewhere. He's going to need to have an area for him to do that. But we could I'm not sure really. Where would be a nice place to keep the beekeeper? Hmm. The beekeeper has to be outside. Bees have to be outside in order for them to work. I'm pretty sure anyway. I don't think we can have the beekeeper be inside. I think for the bees they have to be outside. Yeah, they have to be outside, but they can be like enclosed completely, just so long as they are officially outside. So, if we built a beekeeping room over the top of here, and then put like a cover over it, then that would count as being outside, even though it isn't. So we could do that, possibly. Hmm. I suppose the easiest way to do it would be to have a... just have like this be kind of like a corridor down here, leading to an enclosure, and then just having that be kind of enclosed by building walls to enclose it. And we could actually start building some... let's see, let's go to B, C... no, let's go to workshop. Let's build ourselves a... is it a masons for blocks? I think it's a masons. No, I'm pretty sure it's a crafts dwarf workshop. So let's just build a crafts dwarf workshop in this corridor here. Just a temporary one. It's not going to be permanent. We're going to get rid of it soon. Okay, no, it is the mason's workshop that we needed. We do need this anyway, so we'll make rock hives. We'll make them out of bauxite so that they're nice and red, because that's a really cool colour. Better than him making them out of mudstone. I mean, they don't need to be made out of anything in particular, but we'll make them all the same colour. They'll be a nice red colour then, if we make them out of bauxite. I'll have to make 4 of those, 4 beehives, and then we'll set them up outside here. We also want to dig this out here, like that. Make that kind of flat with the surface. I don't think bauxite is any more valuable than normal stones. I don't think it has a high value or anything. I'll have to check that. Bauxite. Material value 1. So it's as valuable as mudstone. It's not any more valuable or anything like that. I think the only stones that have a material value higher than 1 are... I think that certain kinds of stones. So marble would be an example. Marble, I think, has a higher value. I know marble does for certain. I don't know if any other ones do. So building statues out of marble, for example, gives you much more high quality statues than otherwise. Okay, we got the bauxite hives. That's pretty fast on those. Is Alt H? Oh, we'll have to wait until they've dug out the kind of space for it. Okay, let's build ourselves a workshop then, and build ourselves a mason's workshop. We'll just plot that here as well, and we'll make that on bauxite as well. Okay, so bauxite doesn't count as an economic stone then. Okay. It counts as a non-economic stone. So dwarves will just use it as a. They'll use it as a stone, just at random, kind of willy-nilly. Whereas economic stones, dwarves will avoid using if they can help it. So things like marble, alabaster, chalk, dolomite, limestone, these are economic stones. Lignite. Lignite isn't an ore. I thought lignite was an ore. Oh no, yeah, because lignite is for fuel. It's like coal, so it's an economic stone. It's not an ore. Whereas like limonite, that's what I was thinking of. Limonite is an ore. Limonite produces iron. It's a really good source of iron. Hematite does the same, which is what we've got here. And that's also why we got so much of it here, because it's the only ore of iron that's found outside of the sedimentary layer, I believe. It mostly doesn't matter though, like what you're using rocks for. The last one didn't fall as such. Like we could have continued with it for Tivian, but we had a loyalty cascade, and it just decimated the population of the fortress. And because of that, we did try and soldier on after the cascade had ended, but it was just kind of tedious having to deal with the aftermath of that. So I guess it kind of fell to my own. I don't want. Well, yeah. I just wanted to make a new fortress. You know, like I tried to do a really challenging fortress. We'd been building one out of soap, so yeah. At that point, I was kind of more interested in just leaving it there and starting again because we'd lost like 50 dwarves, etc. Will we ever find the legendary Edstone artifact? Maybe one day. But yeah, so that's kind of where it ended. It just it just kind of petered out, unfortunately. But that's how it goes sometimes, you know. We had one of the worst bugs you can get happen to us, and at that point, I just didn't have the focus to continue with it. I thought that let's get rid of these ramps up here. Yeah, I thought it'd be best just to start a new fortress, just to start again and do something else. Hey there, Kel. Welcome as well, by the way. We've struck Sard. I don't know what Sard is. I don't know what that is. Is it a gem? There's hematite here. Rough Sards. Okay, it's a gem. Yeah, loyalty cascade. It's a bug that happens where basically what happens is one dwarf will accidentally kill another dwarf, right? Like, you have one dwarf who's upset, so he gets into a fight with another dwarf. He accidentally kills the other dwarf. Him killing that dwarf then gets him tagged as an enemy of the civilization. And because he's considered an enemy of the civilization, that means that other dwarfs start attacking him. Then any dwarf that attacks the enemy of the civilization and kills him gets considered to be a separatist, which means other dwarfs start attacking him. And then any dwarf who attacks him becomes an enemy of the civilization. So other dwarfs start attacking that dwarf. And basically what happens is your dwarves get kind of split into two factions, and they have a massive civil war. And yeah, it can destroy fortresses when it happens, because if you don't get on top of it fast enough, if you don't stop it fast enough, then you just have dwarves fighting each other for no reason. It is horrible and amazing. You can usually fix it. There's a utility, Dwarf Hack. It has a command for ending loyalty cascades, but that didn't work. The other way that you can fix it is to retire your fortress and then unretire it, because that resets all of their loyalties. The problem with doing that is that there are actually bugs related to retiring and unretiring a fortress. So you then have to contend with those bugs, and it's just kind of a pain. I'd rather not have to deal with it. Is kind of what I'm getting at. Retiring and unretiring fortresses is just a nightmare. That's why I don't often do it. Like, I'd rather finish a fortress and just have it finished for good instead of going back to the fortress at any point. Because, you know, you want to retire it and then just everything's wrong in various different ways. Why don't we have a dead elf counter? Well, we might have one later. But we don't have one right now. It's going to be a while before we encounter any elves. For now, we're just focusing on building. We're probably not going to encounter anybody this session other than the trade caravan, who we will have to make a trade depot for. Look, alright, there will be blood, alright? There will be blood. Eventually. But for now, we're just building a beautiful, nice fortress. We're building a beautiful place for our dwarves to live and sleep and, you know, make beer in. So yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, surely. We got ourselves a waterfall. Got some really nice, some nice stuff going on. You can see the waterfall goes up several layers as well. Oh, we need to make a furniture stockpile ASAP. Otherwise, we're probably going to lose the anvil again, like we did that one time. Okay, so carve those out there. Why hasn't the masons been built? I thought we had a mason, unless our mason's doing something else. Oh, I don't have a mason. That's one thing I didn't bring. I knew I'd forgotten to bring something. Like, I knew I'd forgotten there was like some kind of job that I needed doing that I didn't prepare for. We'll make our beekeeper into a temporary mason. I knew there was something I forgot. We'll have our beekeeper do it. We'll tell him to carve some rocks for a bit. We're going to have the trade depot over here, actually, and then over here we can have some workshops just in this kind of gap there. But over here, what I want to do is have my beehives. So let's press Alt-H on that, and we're going to place some bees. Like so. This one there. Okay, so that's that. Fine, that's cool. Now that we've got the masons set up here, I want to tell the mason to construct rock blocks. I want him to do it on repeat, and I want him to use bauxite to do it as well. Because I like the colour, it's a nice colour.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the subscription, Cal. Big fan of bees. Yeah, no, we're gonna have bees in this one. We're gonna have bees. Oh, that's lame. Oh, no, wait, it's fine, okay. Yeah, no, that's unfortunate. I thought that because we made the beehives out of bauxite, they'd be red. But unfortunately, they're not. So, yeah. So we're setting up some beehives outside of our fortress anyway, and we're going to build an enclosure and keep them all kind of contained within the enclosure. Unfortunately, there isn't any way to weaponize bees, as far as I know. So we can't weaponize them against the goblins. Your dwarves can get stung by bees, and I suppose goblins could as well, but it doesn't do much to them. I think you can also extract bee venom, or at least you can get bee venom somehow. But I think you can only get it as a trade good, and you can't use it for anything. I'm not sure if you can actually extract it yourself. I don't think you can. Is my instinct. That's what my instinct's saying. Anyway, the beekeeper will go off. He's like going to run off the map. He's going to locate the nearest set of bees, and he's going to go shove them into the hive. So off he trots. We can see him just. Yeah, he grabs the beehive. Dwarves are fearless. He just walks up to the bees, grabs the entire hive of bees, and walks back with them in his bare hands. And he's going to do this 4 times. We're going to have 4 beehives. Let's start constructing some rock pots as well. And we'll use mudstone. I think mudstone is lighter than bauxite, so we'll make mudstone pots. So we'll have that dwarf doing that. We could also make a carpenter's workshop here as well. We're going to get rid of all these workshops that are just in the central corridor. It's just to build some basic stuff that we need. So we're going to have that, and we're going to get him to make some doors as well, and make some beds and some cabinets and all that nice stuff. Okay, and in this room that we're digging here is where we're going to have our trade depot. So we're having the trade depot right near to the entrance, so that, you know, like, potentially we could have a trade depot that floods, actually. We could have a flooding trade depot. There's a lot of advantages to having a trade depot that floods. Although, I don't think we'd have many opportunities to use it. I imagine that we're going to end up at war with the elves very quickly. And I think after that, they're not going to want to trade with us anymore. So, yeah, having a flooding trade depot would probably take a lot of work, but probably wouldn't get us much in terms of results. Only really useful against humans, I guess. You can steal everything off of the elves when they arrive. Like, the elf traders, they don't put up a fight. They're too cowardly to do it. So if the elf traders show up and then you just demand that they hand over all their stuff, they will, without fighting for it. It's really funny. You can get all sorts of free access to elephants and all sorts of just good beasties that way. But yeah, we'll build the trade depot in there. We'll get that set up. We'll need to get an architect to do that as well. We don't have any dwarves with architecture enabled, but we'll just make one of our miners into a temporary architect. And then he'll make us a trade depot, and then we'll have access for the trade depots to come and deposit things. Okay, I've got plants. We're not getting many drinks. Brew drinks from plant on that, and then just repeat that task. Build depot, and then we'll just build it. We'll just build it here, like that. We'll build it out of bauxite, because then it'll be a nice red colour. And we've currently got our dwarf here is making bauxite blocks, so we'll have the blocks that we need in order to be able to build the outdoor enclosure for our beehives. These need to be kept outside, but only in a technical sense. Like, in Dwarf Fortress, an area can either be inside or outside. And once an area is outside, it's considered outside forever, even if you build over the top of it. So this area here is considered outdoors, right? It's just outdoors. You can see here on the thing it says outside, light above ground. Or sorry, no, it's not that it needs to be outdoor or indoor. I think it just needs to be above ground. So because it's considered above ground, it will always be above ground, even if we were to cover the top of it with some kind of building structure. And then we can keep bees inside of it, even though they have no way of actually getting out or pollinating anything. So yeah, we'll be able to do that. We only really want to have a couple of entranceways into the fortress. We don't want to have multiple routes for people to get in. So doing that is a priority. Although we're not going to have to worry about any invaders for a while, I think. I think it's going to be relatively quiet. Couple of streams before we have any invaders show up. So we're going to make some blocks out of bauxite. More efficient that way. It's a shame you can't make soap into blocks, else that would have made Soap Fortress a lot easier. If we could turn soap into soap blocks, but unfortunately you can't. You have to use the raw soap in order to build walls and stuff. Okay, there we go. Right, so we've got that there. We now need to start building the workshop area. I'm going to have the workshop area just be straight over here. That'll give us a decent set of advantages in terms of well, basically what we can do is we can have some furniture being made up here and some crafts and stuff like that, and then that'll be an area where we have you know, we can then very easily trade that with anybody that wants to trade it. So I think that'd be a really good way of doing it. So we'll have like a big stockpile here, And then we'll just have all of these workshops along this corridor here, like so. Let's build little cubbies for the workshops. And we could also have managerial offices over here. So we could actually make some offices over here, and we can make an office over here as well. And then we can just put some stuff in these offices, and then we can have an area for our manager to work. So you dig it like that, dig it like that. Nah, just have it like that. Yeah, like that. So are the 1 Z level above the water there? I'm always too afraid of water. Yeah, the water here is 1 Z level above. So this is open space, and then the river is here. But this is actually a waterfall. So you can see here that the we got like this up here. So the river's also up here. So we're kind of digging beneath the waterfall area, and we're going to have a fortress structure on top of this area here. We're going to build something over the top of this. Maybe a tavern or something like that, something cool. And we've also got access to the waterfall as well. When Dwarf Fortress procedurally generates waterfalls, they always have the same shape. So they always look like this, waterfalls doing Dwarf Fortress. Unless you make one yourself. You can make your own waterfall, right? Like if you wanted to. Although I don't think I have it in me to do something like that. I think I'm probably not quite there with it in terms of my Dwarf Fortress skill levels. Maybe one day, hey. We'll build our own waterfall. Let's dig out those gaps as well. We can build statues in these gaps. And along here we'll have 2 masons, 2 woodcutters, two masons, 2 woodcutters, carpenters, and then 2 crafts dwarf workshops. And then that'll be a basic workshop area, just right near the surface of the world, where we can make some goods for our dwarves to, use for their bedrooms and the like. And let's just make some doors here. There you go. And then just along here, we want the same again. And then we'll have that area enclosed. We're going to build a roof over the top of that. Water can be scary in this game, though. You are right to fear the power of water. It can do a lot to you, a lot of really nasty stuff to you if you're not careful with it. Okay, I'm going to tell one of my miners to go become an architect real quick. Just it doesn't really matter. In fact, I'll make both of them architects. I think the only thing that architect does is it increases the value of the thing that they're designing. I think it'd be really hard to trade up someone to be an architect though in Dwarf Fortress. I suppose you could. I can see how you would do it. You would just set a dwarf to make a bunch of bridges over and over again. Yeah, building designer skill influences the quality of design buildings. The total quality of the building is determined by the skill of the architect and the skill of the builder. So it also matters what the skill of the mason is who designs it as well as the designer. This is just for the trade depot. It doesn't need to be high value or anything. In fact, we probably don't want it to be high value. The more value you create, the more likely you are to be visited by nasty things, and we're not in a position to deal with that. So let's make a furniture stockpile. like that. Let's make ourselves a finished goods stockpile on this side as well. And then we'll make ourselves a wood stockpile here. And we don't really need a stone stockpile, actually. Yeah, we don't really need a stone stockpile. So I'll make this into just a wood stockpile here, running down the middle. They'll be able to get plenty of stone. They're not gonna. I don't need my dwarves to haul stone. Okay, we've got plenty of drinks, got plenty of seeds. We're gonna need a dining room as well, although we will want the dining room to be even further down, I think. Building a staircase here would actually be really nice, I think. Like, we could build a staircase just in the middle of this. But I think that's the center point. So, like that, for a 3x3 staircase. But yeah, that would be the center point. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There. Then we could have like statues around it. So yeah, that would be the center point. I think that's the center. Yeah, it is. Hematite and bauxite, what a surprise. Yeah, we just want to dig down kind of one layer. I would like this to kind of mirror this in a way. So how big is this? This is like from here to here, like that. Right, yeah, like that. And then over here it's from this to this down here. Then from this to this here. Then from this to this here, and then we just need to make this into like that, and then we've got that kind of the exact same sort of shape basically. Okay, needs masonry. Oh, our mason is probably busy. Yeah, he's still constructing blocks. Why aren't these being done? I'm surprised that nobody's doing those. I guess we just don't have many dwarfs available at the moment. He can stop making blocks for now. I don't need him to do that. We got more than enough. We've also got some doors as well. Let's start building some doors. We just got some wooden doors, and we'll start placing those in areas to make it look a bit neater. We also probably want a garbage dump area, just an area to dump all the trash that we're going to inevitably get. So, I mean, there's plenty of spaces where we could fit one of those in. We'll use minecarts in order to just have a very basic sort of... I got an idea about that actually. I think we may have some fun with minecarts. I know I say that all the time and then it inevitably doesn't happen, but there's some ways that we could have some fun with minecarts that I can see. Okay, so we got the trade depot there. They got access to the trade depot as well, so they should be able to get up there unless they arrive on this side of the map, I guess. Which I guess would be an issue. What we'll have to do is we'll have to build some more floor over here. Just so it's just so that they can cross the river, basically. I don't know what side the traders will arrive on. They could arrive on either side, so if they arrive on the wrong side, then they'll be stuck there. Woodstone parts, masons, doors, constructing those. Oh, it's a busy life. We've dug out a lot though. This is I think this is a really good space. Let's start building these. We'll have 2 masons workshops on this side here. I don't want to make them out of woodstone. I want to make everything out of bauxite because it's such a cool color. So masons, and we'll make that out of bauxite. Masons, and we'll make that out of bauxite blocks because we've got actually blocks we should use. We'll make a crafts dwarf workshop here. We'll make that out of bauxite blocks. We'll make this one out of bauxite blocks. We'll make a carpenter's workshop out of blocks as well, and another one here, and we'll also make that out of bauxite blocks. Alright, so that's that there. We've got ourselves that. We should have the furniture stockpile now. Finished goods, furniture stockpile. I don't know why they haven't gone and gotten the anvil. They should have gone and gotten the anvil. Although maybe they have done. Let's deconstruct that over there. We don't need it anymore. They have built more of the wall, which is good to see. So there's more of a protective wall over here. They just need to finish the little bit of rest of that, and once they've done that, that'll be great. We can see that the dwarves are going to go. They're just slowly building that wall there. I think now all we need to do is wait for migrants to arrive, and we're in a really good position. We've got plenty of food. Well, decent amounts of food, plenty of drink, plenty of everything that we need. Ah, there we go, just in time, the migrants have arrived. As always, if anybody wants a dwarf, you can use the channel points in order to get one. But yeah, we got the migrants here, so that's good. We finally got some nice new migrants arrived to, you know, hopefully continue helping us construct this glorious base. What kind of migrants have we got? We got a herbalist, we got a butcher, we got 2 farmers, we got a blacksmith. That's actually possibly really good. Another miner, a fish dissector. That's not that useful. Fish dissecting is a complete waste of a labor. Fish cleaning, on the other hand, is the skill that you need. Fish dissecting, useless. It's fish dissecting is one of the most worthless skills in the game. It's almost entirely useless as a skill, and I'm not over exaggerating. It is just it is used for exactly one thing only, and that thing is incredibly hard and difficult to pull off and actually use. There's exactly one type of fish in the game that can be extracted. It's only found in savage areas near ponds in the summer. And when you dissect them, you make an extract called mog juice, which you cannot use for anything. I think you can use it to eat. Yeah, it can be used to cook stuff. So you can use it in cooking, and that's it. So it's an entirely useless labor. I've never seen anybody set up a fish dissection area. I mean, I guess maybe somebody could do. It'd be pretty cool to see just somebody try and rely on this entirely worthless labor. But yeah, that's fish dissection for you. We're going to build a nice big dining room for the dwarves over here. Just going to mine that out here, and this is going to be where our dwarves are going to go have their dinner, have their meals. So, have we had any new arrivals then? Let's have a look and see what Dwarf Therapist reckons we've gotten. 7 arrivals. So we've had a butcher. That's useful. He's actually a legendary butcher. Not actually that useful. We've got a legendary tanner. Also not that useful. Oh god, he's also a legendary cheesemaker. We got a legendary brewer. That is actually pretty useful. We'll have him. He can be a farmer / brewer. Let's set him to do that immediately. We've got another miner who showed up. He's not a very good miner, but we can have him mine anyway, because he'll have brought his own pickaxe. And we'll have him do stone detailing as well. We've also had a herbalist arrive. Herbalist is not going to be something we need. We'll make him into a manager. So his name is Turnuristning. So let's set him to be the manager. We'll also need a bookkeeper. So who else could we have just be the bookkeeper? We got a blacksmith. He's definitely going to be a blacksmith. We got this dwarf here, the fisher dwarf. I don't need any fishermen right now. So Cog Kierkegaard, he can become the bookkeeper. I'm also going to make him into a mechanic as well, and there's a reason for this. I'm going to make him into a mechanic, and I'll also make the other manager into a mechanic as well. Actually, no, mechanic, nah, we won't do him as a mechanic. We'll leave that for now. I'm just kind of thinking to myself what I want to do, but we'll definitely have them be the manager and the bookkeeper. This guy here, the legendary butcher, I don't really need to... Legendary butcher actually doesn't do anything. It's the most useless skill to be legendary in that you can be in. We've also got a legendary gelder. Oh, sorry. Oh, wait. No, our legendary tanner is also a legendary gelder, a legendary cheesemaker, and a legendary tanner. So he's good. He's like the king of gelding and cheesemaking. We'll put him to good use. We have got goats. We've got billy goats with us and nanny goats. Hey there. Oh, Old Freeport wants to have a dwarf. Okay, Old Freeport, which dwarf do you want? We've got ourselves some miners. We've got ourselves a beekeeper, who is actually going to be keeping bees. We got ourselves the manager and the bookkeeper. We got ourselves the legendary gelder, the legendary cheesemaking tanning gelder. We got ourselves a legendary butcher, who will be a butcher. I'll have him be a butcher. In fact, he can be a chef as well. Chef, butcher, tanner, and we'll leave him with that. So yeah, we'll have him do those things. So yeah, he can be the chef if you wanted. Yeah, actual beekeeping. Old Freeport wants to be the cheesemaker and the gelder. Okay. The legendary gelder, Old Freeport. Your dream job. I don't think we're going to have much gelding done, but you are the best gelder in the land, so I guess that's something. I guess if we get too many kittens, then we know who to call. Alright. We do need a mason, actually. We need a mason dwarf. We need a dwarf to become a mason. Because we don't have a dedicated mason. At the moment, our beekeeper is masoning, and I don't want him to do that. I want him to beekeep and press. I don't want him to be a mason. So we'll get rid of that off him. Okay, for the time being, I'm going to have Old Freeport be the mason, just so that we have a dwarf making masonry goods. He's not going to do it permanently, but we just need a dwarf to do that for the time being. And we're going to have him make some tables and chairs for us. So let's... so we're going to go here. Workshop profiles. Labor restrictions, detail, condition. No. Okay, actually, we're going to go here. We're going to start by... Oh, yeah, we need to make some basic tables and chairs first. Details, bauxite, details, bauxite, details, bauxite, details, bauxite. We're trying to make things out of bauxite so that we get this really nice red colour. So we're going to have you go and make those tables and chairs, Old Freeports, real quick. And that way we'll be able to set up our... Well, we'll be able to set up our offices really nice. Okay, we also want to remove these workshops, so they're just in the corridor. Yeah, the red color is really nice. It's a really nice material to build stuff out of. It's also magma safe as well, which is the other aspect of it, but it's just a really nice color to do. So we're definitely going to be building a lot of stuff out of it. Like we got our trade depot over here, depot. We want to get some fancy metals as well, though, for sure. So we need to dig down and see if we can find any. Well, we're not going to dig down too far. I don't really want to uncover the caverns yet. Although we could actually be pretty close to the caverns lair, I think, because of how deep down we are already. Microline, nice. We probably will find some stuff on this layer that's... Oh, Cobalite. Cobalite produces a really nice blue colour, as does Microline. Slightly different kind of blue. I think Cobalite is actually used to make something else, isn't it? Or, no, you can make cobalt, but dwarves don't know how to make it, so that was it, yeah. Let's build on this microline layer. We'll build on this here. How far out is this? 1, 2, 3. Actually, we're gonna go for a more utilitarian design on this level. It's gonna be not as fancy as the other layers because this is just going to be our. This is going to be where our dwarves have their beds. Basically, it's going to be our bed layer. We need to have some bedrooms really quickly, so we'll do that. Brimstone? Oh, you can't use brimstone for anything. I'm just looking at the stones. Like, you can see a list of stones that you can get. Some of them are useful or useless. Like, there's some... You can get, like, pitch blend and stuff like that. Pitch blend is pretty useless as a metal as an ore for most things. Sorry, as a stone for most things because it's really heavy, but it has a really nice colour to it, so making stuff out of it can be quite fun. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, by the way. If I'm not, then someone just tell me that I'm doing it wrong. Red colour reminds you of Sludge Fortress, yeah. Kinda does, yeah, Sludge Fortress. Sludge Fortress was often red, but for the wrong reasons, so, yeah. I mean, hey, you know, like if you like your red colour, Sludge Fortress was the place to go for that sort of thing. It's just a different kind of red, the kind of red that made you go blind. Sludge Fortress is an absolute mess of a fortress. In more ways than one. It was called Sludge Fortress because it rained sludge, right? That was the whole point. Like, it was in a biome where it rained sludge constantly, all the time. And we built this massive fortress in it. We had about 100 dwarves. And the fortress ended when we tried to build the hospital. Before we tried to build a hospital, we'd had our first military dwarves go into the caverns to do some little expeditionary work. So we'd sent them down there to try and kill some, you know, just kill some stuff. Try and get some, yeah, just kill some stuff. Anyway, they were really bad at it. They've been training for ages, but they just couldn't hit anything. Like, we had these legendary military dwarves flailing around in the caverns, and it's like, what's up? Why can't they hit anything? Well, it turned out, as Avenue has pointed out in the chat, the sludge was making the dwarves blind. And it was so bad that when I built the hospital, the moment I designated the hospital square in the fortress, every dwarf in the fortress immediately rushed to the hospital. Every single dwarf immediately ran to the hospital, and they all sat on the same exact tile in the hospital waiting for somebody to see to them, and because every dwarf was in the hospital trying to get treated, there wasn't any dwarves who could treat their blindness. So yeah, that was the other thing about Sludge Fortress. So yeah, at that point I just abandoned it right there, because we had an entire fortress of blind dwarves. Nobody could actually help anybody else because everybody was sitting in the hospital waiting to be treated. It was pretty funny, but also pretty awful. And so ended Sludge Fortress. You know, it was a nice idea, but it just didn't last, unfortunately, as these things often do. Sludge Fortress just wasn't meant to be. We're going to give these dwarves nice big bedrooms, like bigger than I would normally give them anyway, because again, this is going to be... I want to try and use as much space as possible in this fortress and try and make a really big fortress. So we're making big rooms here. We're going to give the dwarves 3x3 bedrooms, 9 tiles per bed. So they'll get a bed, they'll get a cabinet, they'll get all that good stuff in it. But the first thing that we want to do is to go back up here and build ourselves the table and chair. And just throw those down in there. Oh, look at that. Look at that really nice red colour. I think we also want to get our mining dwarves to do some engraving soon as well. We need them to learn how to engrave really good. So let's make this into a... oh god, we need doors in here as well. Yeah, let's get our mason to make some doors. And details, just make them out of bauxite and do that on repeat, so we just get a bunch of nice red doors. We've used wooden doors up here because this is a different kind of colour, but I think that'll be nice once it's done. We could use microline doors down here and granite doors. Yeah, even the gems are reddish. It's really nice. It's a really... I think this is going to be a really fancy fortress when all is said and done. It looks better than Soap Fortress ever did. But that isn't saying much. Soap Fortress was a mess. It was a messy fortress. Just workshops crammed into every corner where I could place them. Alright, this is going to be where the first bedrooms are. I mean, Soap Fortress had its charm in its own way. It was certainly an experience, but yeah, it just... everything that could go wrong went wrong with Soap Fortress. That was the thing with it. It just... anything that could happen did happen. We had invasions at inopportune times. We had tantruming. We had like dwarves breaking levers that were our only line of defense against invasions halfway through an invasion. That kind of stuff. It was just a real mess. Really messy fortress. We need to cover this as well. We want this to be covered so that nothing can jump down here. So how many bauxite blocks do we have? We don't have many left. We're going to have to make some more. 14. Let's just start placing some of those there. That'll also give our idle dwarves something to do for the meantime. How are we doing on food and stuff? We've got plenty of drinks. We've got a decent amount of food still. Autumn has arrived. That means we'll get the trade caravan soon as well. We don't have any crafts or anything like that, unfortunately. Do we have any doors here yet? Yeah, we have a door. Let's build a door. Construct that door here. Then we can designate a manager's office. We can start getting some managers' orders out. You know, tell them to crank out some goods that we can sell to the first trade caravan. So let's make this into a throne room. We're going to assign this to our manager here. Well, it's not a throne room, it's an office, but you get the idea. In fact, actually, if I just press R... if we just press K... no, Q? Yeah. We're gonna set Dwarf Hack to auto allocate this room to whoever the manager is. So the manager's office is there. We can now use the manager's office in order to set up tasks. So We want to make tables. We're going to construct, I think we'll construct 20 tables. 20 tables. And we'll set the details on that to only use bauxite. And we're going to do the same for chairs. No, thrones, because they're made out of stone. 20 thrones. And we're going to set the details on these to be made out of bauxite as well. And then we'll build doors as well. Rock doors. We'll build 10 of these. We'll set the details here again for just bauxite. Bauxite. We also want crafts as well. I'm not too concerned what we make the crafts out of, so we'll just make them out of rock. We'll just make them out of... in fact, we'll make them out of mudstone, because we're not using mudstone for anything else. Mudstone is as valuable as... it is as valuable as bauxite, but we're not going to use it for anything else, so we'll just use it to make crafts. We'll do that. We also need to get some wooden bins as well for our... we'll get 30 wooden bins. Tables, chairs, bins, beds, wooden beds. Well, beds can only be made out of wood, so construct bed. Let's build 20 beds. Cabinets. We'll make those out of wood as well. 20 cabinets, and I think we'll also make some more wooden doors as well. Wooden doors. We'll construct 10 of those. Beds, cabinets, doors. Actually, no, I don't want wooden doors. Let's remove that. Beds, cabinets, doors. Chests, or coffers even. So JM, coffer, rock. Let's build 10 of those. Actually no, let's build coffer, 20 of those, and then we'll set the details on this. And I want to make these ones out of mudstone. We can make them out of microline. Let's make them out of microline. Get some nice blue coffers. Avenue Phil wants a dwarf. Okay, surprise you. Well, I don't think it's that surprising, but you can be the beekeeper. We don't have a name for the beekeeper yet. Avenue Phil, the beekeeper. Keeper of bees. Does that count as being surprised? Hooray, I guess. Hey, you are going to be our dedicated beekeeper. You're going to make us mead and wax products, I guess. I don't know, like possibly make some wax products. It's kind of useless to do that, but we'll nevertheless endeavor to do it. Yeah, sorry. Juicy 1 value mead, yeah, precisely. The best value mead. Alright, we got those rooms dug out there. It's not enough bedrooms yet, but I'm going to tell my dwarves to start smoothing this down. My mining dwarves. I want them to start getting some experience in doing this. They can smooth down this entire layer, actually. That'll give them loads of experience. It'll take them a long time to do it, but we've got 3 of them assigned to do that. So that's that. We also probably want to start building an area for our butcher, and maybe an area for our cheesemaker as well. But we'll do cheesemaking later. I think we need to just get ourselves a kitchen area. So I think what we'll do is, if we build along here like that, it's a 1, 2 gap there, 1, 2, 2, 3, like that. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? So that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gap there. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We can build another farm here to grow something else, so probably pigtails, or maybe even sweet pods. We can make some bread. Well, you can't make bread actually. That's incorrect. You can't make bread. Oh, I just realised that this is wrong. The only problem with building like this is trying to make it look right. It's trying to get it all to match up evenly. That's definitely 3 across there. So that's 1. Dig out that one. And dig out that one. Yeah, that's correct. Then go down there like that. Yeah. I know that you can use macros to do it as well, but every time I try and use macros, I just screw it up really badly. And they end up making it look even worse. Right, but that should be like that, shouldn't it? Why isn't... Oh, okay, yeah, that should... Down like that. Okay, there we go. Biscuit gang, rise up. Yeah, for me, I find it's really difficult to use them efficiently, and so I prefer to just do it all manually. But it can take a little bit of time to get everything to look right. But it's kind of like that old saying, you know, measure twice, cut once. So that's kind of how I do it, and I still manage to screw it up all the time. Anyway, I think I've got this the same shape and size, but we'll see anyway. We can have a farmer's workshop up here that'll be set to basically process plants. So we'll have like a workshop on one. We'll have a stockpile on one side, which will accept pigtail thread, and then we'll have the farmer's workshop on the other side, which will process the pigtail thread into usable thread. But that's kind of setting up an industry for later. We're not going to do that immediately. I just want to start building some of the rooms and kind of planning where we're going to put stuff, because we've also got to fit on this level. We want to fit, for example, our we want to fit our butcher's workshops over here. So like perhaps on this side here, but I'm not quite sure how we're going to do that. We could actually do it over here and like fit it in. We don't need much space for it. We just need a tanner's, a butcher's, and I think that's about it really. Or we could have it go down here and then have it sit over here. So we need to have a butchery room here. Let's say that we have two butchers and two kitchens, like this here. Like that. In fact, what I'm going to do is actually, yeah, it's going to be paused anyway whilst I do this. I can't do this and leave it unpaused. Yeah, we can just have it really basic, not that fancy or anything, but we just need the rooms here because this is going to be where we do we're processing some of our animals, and then we can have a big food stockpile room here. Where we can just stockpile all of our food, and we can try and make the food stockpile room look a bit more kind of fancy and fitting in with the rest of the rooms we got in this fortress. Like this, you know, just making some kind of rooms like that. Not the fanciest or most elegant solution. We could also probably do with a stockpile for I don't know, a stockpile for, I'm not sure. Problem with this is if we build it like this, it's really hard to then expand anything else in this way. It's going to look a bit weird. You know what? I'm overthinking it. It'll be fine. It'll be fine like that. I'm overthinking it. It'll take them forever to do this, so they're not going to mine anything for ages anyway. Like we've got them smoothing all of this surface out. I want this to be nice and smooth, and we'll be able to, you know, this is going to be where the dining room is. We also want them to engrave it as well, but that's also going to take even longer. In fact, what are their skill levels at the moment on masonry? Where are the miners at in terms of that? We've got 2 level 5 stone detailers and 1 dabbling stone detailer. God. A Baroness Consort has arrived, as has a caravan. Okay, so the caravan's here. Do we have any crafts yet? We have a few mudstone crafts, but we don't have anything else really to trade. We'll move those over anyway. So let's go in here and just move the finished goods that we got there. We're probably not going to buy anything off these guys. I'll just have a look and see what they got. Oh no, that is an ominous message. Carp has given birth to Carp Fry. Also, one of our goats has given birth, which is nice. Oh god, another carp has given birth. Ominous messages, scary messages. Okay, I'm your liaison from the mountain homes. Let's discuss your situation. Some information's been added to our civilization screen. I don't think we really need to request anything in particular, so I'm actually just going to leave it. I don't want anything in particular. We're not down anything. There's nothing that we need. Let's see what they want. They want to get silk earrings. I don't know how I'm going to do that. Oh, actually, no. They consider silk earrings to be... Yeah, they want cheese as a priority. They're desperate for toys. Quivers. Prepared meals. It's actually really good. Prepared meals are really high value anyway. Rings. They want fish, handwear, and splints. Okay. Okay, we've moved some goods over here. Let's leave it like that. We'll build another door here, like that. We also need to assign this throne room here, and we're going to assign this to our bookkeeper, and we're going to set that to be auto bookkeeped. So our bookkeeper will always be assigned that room. Let's also go to our settings, and we want highest precision on all counts. Oh. We also want to construct some bauxite blocks as well. Where's that anvil, by the way? Because I don't know where our anvil is. It should be somewhere. If we check our stocks, buildings, wood gates. Where's furniture? Oh, anvils. We do have an anvil. It is somewhere. I just don't know where it is on the map. There's 4 anvils on the map at the moment, but 3 of those belong to the traders. We got a yak calf. We'll probably butcher that yak calf, I think. I don't really want to be breeding yaks. Too intensive. Alright, we don't have a broker either. We could appoint one temporarily. Do we have any dwarves with skills? Oh, none of them have appraisal skill, unfortunately. We'll appoint this brewer to be the broker for temporarily, and we will request that our broker arrive here. Let's also move some other goods. Do we have anything else that we can sell? We do have some more crafts here. We have a bunch of pots, but they don't have anything in them. We have seeds, pigtail. We haven't really made anything to sell. We could make some weapons, like not weapons, like trap components. Those are usually really valuable. Okay, our broker is currently drinking, as it ever is, as it ever shall be. Name a more iconic duo, brokers and drinking when you're not supposed to be. I don't think there's a more iconic duo than that. Actually, no. Dwarves and falling into volcanoes. That's a pretty iconic duo. God, building anything on top of a volcano can be a real nightmare because you'll have like your dwarf will be standing on top of the volcano and then he'll spot a giant eagle, and then he'll dodge out of the way in order to get away from the eagle, and he'll jump straight into the lava pit. Yeah, that's not that uncommon. Like, dwarves and lava, it's such a nightmare combination sometimes. Okay, are our miners actually getting any better in masonry? No, they're still level 5. Oh my god, it takes so long to skill this up. Our dabbling mason isn't even gone up a level yet. Alright, well, we'll start building tables and chairs in there anyway. We can do engravings later. I just want them to get better at it. Hopefully we'll just be fortunate enough to have like a dwarf arrive who's really good at that anyway. I actually don't want to sell my ropes, so I'm going to sell everything except for the ropes. I don't yet. We're building one at the moment. We just got a meeting area assigned in the hallway, which is why all the dwarves are sitting there. But we don't have a designated meeting area yet. Okay, let's see what they've got. They have got some books. We could buy... We see Landlord Willful yelled, the livid drink, and then there's a book here called The Secrets of the Moon. We can't buy any of these, we can't really afford any of them. We could buy the book about triangles, I think. We could probably get away with that one, but we don't have much in the way of value. They got a sheep with them. They got only one sheep though, they don't have a breeding pair. They have some bars, they have electrum bars, they have some cabacons, they have some dwarfen wine. They got a water buffalo bull, hyena shoes. We could buy some clothing off them, maybe. We'd probably just want to buy a thing full of cloth and leave it at that. Because then we got cloth if we need it. But other than that, we won't have anything else. Yeah, they've really not brought anything that useful to trade. I think we'll just buy the cloth and leave it at that. If you assign the meeting area as an engravers guild and allow everyone to visit, your current engravers will do engraving demonstrations to other dwarves in their free time. That's not a bad idea, actually. Although, maybe we want to build like a really fancy engravers room and just make a designated engravers hall. I mean, I wouldn't be against that. I won't do it right now because I've already got them engraving anyway, so they're already learning how to engrave, right? They're getting the skills to do it, but that's not a bad idea in the future, though, for sure. We could definitely do something like that. Let's get a cloth bin so that we've got cloth, and let's also buy a little bit of spider silk. And let's just leave it at that. I don't think I'm going to try and buy anything else. Yeah, I've definitely... decent trade. We maybe get some more crafts by the end of this, and then we sell those for stuff as well, but for the time being, that's more than adequate. We've also now got some beds as well, 6 of them. And then H for container, microline coffers as well. Building the mandatory ones, you know, the ones that you have to build. I'm gonna remove this designation, do that, because I want them to focus on doing the actual room itself. So, come on, why isn't it removing the designation? Yeah, focus on doing the actual room itself, and then you can do the rest of it after you've done it. Because then we can start putting tables and chairs and stuff in here, so that we've got like a nice big dining room. Although we haven't got many tables yet. Honestly, my usual strategy for stone detailing is to pray that one of my engravers has a strange mood and then just becomes a legendary engraver. I've had that happen before. It's so nice when that happens. You just have one dwarf running around the fortress engraving everything as like the king of engravers. But unfortunately, that isn't how it always goes. Alright, right, so we got the bee stockpile. Well, we got the bees here. These are ready to be split, but he's not going to split them because he hasn't got anywhere to put them. I can't remember exactly how the beekeeping industry works. I think it's been a while since I've done beekeeping, so I'm just going to have to look this up again real quick. Also, my soundtrack ended. Let's go with, I don't know, Stronghold soundtrack. If anyone's got any soundtrack suggestions, just let me know. Just any kind of video game soundtrack. It's basically because I don't want to get copyright claimed if I upload this to YouTube, so... Okay. Oh, they need jugs, yeah. That's it. So we need to build him jugs. So we do jugs. We'll make rock jugs. 50 of them. Arbitrary large number of rock jugs. Probably more than we'll ever need. And we'll make these out of mudstone. We're going to run out of mudstone at this rate. Then we're going to need a stockpile for him to put his stuff in. We can have the stockpile over here. He needs to have a pressing room, doesn't he? He needs to have a room filled with presses. And we can also then put a still down here to then make mead off of that. So if we do that like that, maybe. I don't know. I'm not quite sure how I want to do this. We'll definitely do it in this space here, just so that we're using this space efficiently. But we'll have, well, not efficiently, but semi-efficiently. We'll have the stockpile just over here, so that'll be the stockpile for stuff. Then over here we'll have, have it like that, and then we'll have 2 rooms, and then we can have, yeah, just like that. Then we can have one be a stockpile room, the other one will be a room with some workshops and pressing stuff in it. And then we can have him do that. And this is honestly one of the most worthless industries you can make, beekeeping. I mean, it's a fun industry, it's a kind of unique one, but it has almost no utility. You just get a bunch of stuff that you don't need, and you also get some very cheap alcohol from it. But hey, there's something really dwarven, I guess, about about drinking mead. I guess it seems like really appropriate for dwarves to drink. I mean, what could be more appropriate than that, right? Mead. It's a great drink for dwarves. A really dwarven drink. That's the only reason to do it, is basically because you want to have mead. We can also get some dwarves to be wax workers. They'll be able to turn wax into crafts, but yeah, that's it. You can't even make anything else out of wax. Like, I guess if you had to build candles, like, imagine if you had to actually build lighting in your fortress now, then it would be perhaps useful, but yeah, that's about it. Okay, so we've got some bedrooms down here. Let's start assigning these out. Yeah, so some dwarves will come claim these bedrooms, and that'll give those dwarves a boost, and they'll have somewhere that they can sleep. So we'll have 12 bedrooms. At the moment we have 14 dwarves, so we need 2 more after that. Although I'm sure we'll get another wave of migrants soon. Oh, we're out of logs? Interesting. Let's just cut down some more trees. We want the ones near our entrance to be cut down, ideally. Kind of make a clearing, make it easier for stuff to get to the entrance. Oh, the other thing that we're going to want is goblets as well. Or cups. We can make cups out of wood. We'll just make, I don't know, 30, 40, 40. A lot of cups. We're making a lot of goods, and we don't have many workers to make them, but we are slowly getting there. Once we have some more dwarves arrive, we can assign more dwarves to do various different kinds of crafting, and then we'll have more in the way of actual stuff being produced. Okay, he should be cutting down some trees. Yeah, he's cutting down that tree. He'll be able to then actually produce some stuff out of wood. I wonder if we got olive trees here, actually. Coconut palm, bitter orange, orange tree, coffee trunk tree, bitter orange tree, coconut palm, probably not. Coffee tree, yeah, it doesn't look like it. Avocado, we got avocados. Can we actually gather avocados? Could we do an avocado industry? Okay, so we can actually get avocado fruits. I don't know if you can make them into alcohol. Like, if we can make some avocado wine, then that'd be pretty funny, I guess. I don't know. Can we brew avocados into? Oh no, we can't. We can't. Damn shame. Okay, let's just get them to smooth down even more of this. Actually, before we do that, we need them to mine some more stuff here. Just like that. Nice and simple, nice and easy. Yeah, no avocado alcohol. It's a shame. I mean, you can make some other interesting kinds of alcohol. Having a variety is good as well. Means dwarves are less likely to get upset about it. We could always get some grapes. We could get some strawberry wine, pineapple wine, banana wine, peach, cherry, perry. We can make some perry. We can make some rice beer, turnip wine, arsenic wine. The only ones that are like super valuable is like whipvine wine and also sunberry wine. Other than that, most alcohol is the same value. Some alcohol is less valuable, so swamp whiskey has got a value of 1. Sewer brew, which you get from ratweed, and gutter silver barbs, they're all useless. Although you can brew those into dye, which is actually of high value. We don't ever bother with dyeing stuff though. Also, it looks like we've got kittens, which is means it's time for us to do some butchery, I think. Although we're not short for food or anything. Oh, we also didn't make any of these workshops up here, did we? Right. H for kitchen. No, that's fishery. K for kitchen? No. C? Z for kitchen. Yes, that's exactly what you'd expect, right? Z for kitchen. Don't make that out of box size, that'll take too long. Just make it out of wood. Wooden kitchen. Then we're also going to need tanner's shops up here. So we can turn that into leather. And we're also going to need butchers, which is going to be under B for butcher. No, that's a bowyer's workshop. Damn idiot. I can never remember how to do butchers. It's U. Oh, finally, we got some more migrants as well. That'll speed things up a lot. No, no more bauxite blocks. Your audio is bugging out? Seriously, what's wrong with it? Is it working fine now? It's better now. Yeah, sorry. I've got this really old microphone. I can't afford to replace it at the moment, so sometimes stuff like that might happen, so I'm sorry about that. Yeah, it's just one of those things. I just got this really old microphone, right? Like sometimes that just happens. I've had the same microphone since I started university, and I started university 8 years ago. So yeah, I've had a pretty good run of it. Anyway, let's see what these migrants are like. 7 new migrants. We've got a woodcutter, woodcrafter. We've got a gem cutter, gem setter. They're very good at both of those. We've also got a legendary weaponsmith, which is excellent. We've got a lot of legendary dwarves. We've got a legendary stonecrafter, which I'm happy with. Stonecrafting. He'll be a stonecrafter, and we'll also make him into a woodcrafter because I like to have them do both. We've got a dwarf here who's a lye maker. Yeah, your prime military duty. We've also got a legendary milker. Yeah, we're gonna have to sort out our cheese making stuff eventually. Okay, I think we found a dwarf who's going to become our militia commander anyway. Because, you know, I don't need that. This guy here is an administrator. Yeah, he's got... That's a key word for he has no useful skills. But maybe he'd be a better broker than the one we've got at the moment. What? Okay, that's ominous. It looks like we got a necromancer in our fortress. Okay. We're gonna have to keep him well away for any corpses. Who is the necromancer? This guy. He's the gem setter necromancer. Let's have a look at his profile. Okay, the merchant's in trade. Nah, it's not done yet. Where is he? This guy, the dwarf jeweler necromancer. Kills. He's killed 1 folly of boot romancer's creature, and 1 boot romancer's creature. Is his last name Boot Romance? No, it isn't. His name is Squid Guilds. He is 129 years old. He personally values eloquence and he dreams of ruling the world. He absolutely detests slugs. What? Okay, this dwarf is amazing. Oh, do I still sound like the hive mind advisor from Stellaris? Oh god. I don't know what's up with this, like, I don't know. Is it any better now, or is it still just being awful? It's coming in and out. Okay. Don't worry, it adds to the flavor. Not really. I don't have any magnets. Anyway, we've got a dwarf necromancer, right? We've got a dwarven necromancer in the fortress. So there's that at least. He dreams of ruling the world. In lights here, he likes basalt, aluminium. Light yellow diamond, lychee woodwood, the colour cardinal, cabicon, slabs, ducks for their quacks, and mudmen for their peculiar smell. When possible, he prefers to consume seahorse, ratweed, banana beer, cow's milk, cotton seeds, and squashes. Okay, so that's a pretty interesting dwarf. He is a former member of the sect of Stench. He is a former member of the Silvers of Blotting. He is a former member of the Blockaded Duties. He is a former member of the Society of Anguish. He is a former member of the Standard of Trumpets. He is a former slave of the Frosty Realm. He is the former mayor of the Standard... Okay, yeah, so this guy's definitely lived an interesting life. Has he brought his tome with him? Actually? Where is he? Here. Where is it? Inventory. No, he hasn't. He hasn't actually brought his book with him. So we can't actually use him to turn out the rest of our dwarves into necromancers because he hasn't brought his tome with him. Although, if we were to turn him into a scholar, there's a decent chance he would actually read. There's a decent chance that he would create. There's a decent chance that he would create another necromancer tome. Generally speaking, if you let necromancers write books, then they'll write necromancy books. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. Okay, so we got a necromancer in the fortress anyway. Let's appoint some more guys to do some useful stuff. We got this guy being the woodcrafter, so we got another crafter. We got another woodcutter / crafter there. Errol, he's useless. He's going to become a mason. Yeah, we'll just make him a mason. We'll also make him a mechanic as well. Mechanic mason. Oh my god, I'm about to sneeze. Sorry. Hey, actually, what's this? One of our dwarves has created a masterpiece mudstone figurine. Okay, can we trade? Yeah, they've moved all this stuff over. Let's see if we can get anything else off these guys. Okay, actually, I want to see this item here. Right, what's the name of this? This is a finely crafted mudstone figurine of Dang Joyterrors. This item is a finely designed image of Dang Joyterrors the Goblin and Enthep Umberlearns the Luxurious, the Etin in mudstone. Enthep Umberlearns the Luxurious is striking down Dang Joyterrors. The artwork relates to the killing of the goblin Dang Joyterrors by the Etin Enthep Umberlearns the Luxurious. Okay, that's an interesting name for a goblin. Dang Joyterrors. Okay, I want to trade that. I'm going to buy an anvil off them. Just get some. We'll buy some cave lobsters. We'll buy some clown loaches. We'll buy an iron anvil. And we'll buy some pigtail cloth. Yeah, there we go. So we're giving them some more figurines in return for some more stuff, which is really good. Am I still having problems with the sound? Honestly, like, is it still really bad, or is it just like I don't want it to be annoying or anything? All right, I'm good. It only happens for a moment and passes. Yeah, I really need to get a new microphone. I just can't afford it at the moment. And then again, even if I could afford it, where would I get one from? Like, where would I even get one from at the moment? Because everything's short anyway, so... it's not like I could, you know, like, go out and buy a microphone the next day. And I wouldn't really want to deliver one from Amazon. I wouldn't want to get Amazon to deliver. So... it seems a bit irresponsible to have Amazon delivering stuff like that at the moment. I think... it's not exactly something I need, right? Like, I can make do with the one I got, so I don't want to basically force somebody to come out to my house and give me one, given everything that's going on at the moment. I don't know. I feel like it'd probably be a wrong idea, bad idea. Okay, let's go to the dining room. We're going to have a look at the dining room real quick. We're going to build a stockpile at the top of the dining room here. And we're going to assign this to be a... And that's an activity zone. Wrong one. I'm going to build a... Well, we need more chairs in here as well. Oh, that's a container. Alright, build that there. Yeah, I want to build a stockpile in here. And this is going to just be a generic food stockpile. Well, I think in this corner over here, we're going to make a custom... Oh, actually, yeah. We're going to make a custom stockpile. Forbid that. And we're going to put finished goods here. Although we're going to forbid all types except for goblets. So it's just going to be a goblet stockpile, basically. And we'll put one on that side and one on that side. So that hopefully there should be... Basically, I want them to have goblets in the dining room. Oh, we should make some statues for this as well, shouldn't we? I should make some statues for this. Why'd they put a barrel here? Barrels, unless they're going to put barrels of... Oh, still a food stockpile. Even though there's not allowed to store food in it, they still consider it a food stockpile. So they're putting barrels there because they want to put food in the barrels. We've got some masterpiece avocado wooden cups as well. Made from the finest avocado wood. Okay, so let's just designate this as the dining room. So we're going to designate this all as the dining room here, and we're going to have this be the meeting hall. And then we're going to go up to here, and we're going to get rid of this former meeting hall here. We don't need them to meet here anymore. So let's remove that. We should be churning out furniture a bit faster now anyway, because we have got the legendary... No, he wasn't. He was a legendary woodcutter? No, he was a legendary woodcrafter, so actually that doesn't help us with the furniture that much. Possibly we need to cut down some more trees as well. Brew drinks from plant. Let's just do 100 on that. Okay. Right. So we got all that there. I don't really see anything else we need to do. We do need to get that dug out, but they'll get on that when they get the chance. Yeah, they're still currently detailing floors and stuff. We have got basically all of our dwarves doing everything, except for this lye maker. The weaponsmith isn't doing anything. I do want him to be the weaponsmith. I need to assign him... We need to build an area for him to do some weaponsmithing. Possibly we want to just find the magma, right? Just locate the magma sea and just do some over there. Although we could also do some just on the surface and, you know, use charcoal. It's just as good, basically. It just means we've got to cut down a lot of trees. But, you know, who's going to be hurt by us cutting down trees? I think, I can't imagine anybody's going to be inconvenienced by that, right? Right? Like, nobody's going to mind if we cut down a bunch of trees, right? What do you reckon, guys? Do you think we'll be able to do that? Do you think they'll be okay with it? You know, if we just cut down some trees, they grow back. We get them again eventually. Yeah, who cares? Who cares if we cut down some trees? Nobody worth listening to, that's for sure. The dead elf counter needs dead elves. Okay, so we do have the dining room here, which is great. So they will eat in here. They'll get good thoughts about being in the valuable dining room as well. Our masons are getting better at engraving, which is good. So we can check their skills. Actually, they're not getting that much better. Our stone details are still only level 5. They're about to go up a level to level 6, but yeah, they're still level 5. Zephon here has got 4.5k experience. He's seconds away from becoming a level 6 stone detailer. I feel sorry for actually we've got a mason here who's like a level 1 mason. I feel kind of bad for him. Okay. Find some more bedrooms. I know that these bedrooms aren't done yet, but we're getting there with them. We've actually almost got enough bedrooms for all our dwarves now, although we did have the migrant wave, so that's not true anymore, is it? We've got 21 dwarves. We've got 14 bedrooms. Actually, I think we've got more than that. 8 plus 8 is 16. Yeah, we've got 16 bedrooms. I also need to set up hotkeys. I always forget to do this. Okay, make this one zoom here. So this is the gate. We want it to zoom here when we want it to go to gate. F2 should be F2. Oh god, why isn't this... Oh, that's why. I have W split open in the background, so it's stealing my F keys. Okay, F2 here. Zoom here, and we change the name of this to font. So if we press F1, we go... F1, zoom here. So F1 zooms there, yep. Yep, perfect. F2. Then F3 can be the dining room. Zoom here. And then F5, oh sorry, F4, can zoom here, and this can be dorms. So zoom here. So F1, F2, F3, F4, perfect. And that makes it easier for us to get around our fortress and see where everything is. Just tell all the dwarves to do doodles on the walls until they learn. I mean, that's kind of what we're doing already, Olaf. We've got them doing that already. It's just that it takes them a very long time to skill up from doing it. Like a really long time. It's one of the most tedious skills to train. I mean, it's not tedious. It just takes them so long to get it. I think they get like 10 experience for every single engraving they make, like just 10 experience. And in order to go up a level, that you need about 1,000. So yeah, you know, add 10 times however many. It's basically 100 engravings per level. So, and it takes a very long time for them to do these engravings at low levels. It's something ridiculous like that. That's not exact, but that's roughly speaking how it is. So yeah, it does take them a very long time. Let's see how our orders are getting on. We've almost finished the tables. We've almost got all the doors. We're making craft still. We've almost finished our beds and cabinets. Microline coffers are coming on. Boxlight blocks, we've still got some new of those. So let's build some of those. Here. Let's just build those. We need doors up here as well, for sure. I want wooden doors as well. Let's just construct 20 of them. I usually make someone designated engraver and have them smooth out an engraver cavern or quarry for ages. Yeah, I mean, that's one way of doing it. I like to have multiple, though. I like to have a few of them. I mean, it does mean that it takes them longer because they've all got to... I don't know. I like to have multiple of them, basically. So I don't want to have just like one engraver who does everything. Because then eventually they die. That's what happened the last time I had one engraver. They died. Then we were kind of screwed. Though I suppose we got a necromancer now, so I don't think any of our dwarves are going to be dying permanent anymore. So there is that to keep in mind. I think we're not going to have any shortage of dwarves. Yeah, we have a necromancer. A necromancer arrived at the fortress, this guy. He's a necromancer jeweler. So he's an expert at making and crafting jewels. I kind of want him to make jewels and, you know, encrust stuff with it. So I'm thinking I'll make a statue area for making statues. And have him just like, we'll make some like gold statues and encrust them with jewels and stuff like that. Make some really high value statues later. But yeah, that's we've got that guy there. Hey, I checked his profile, and at one point in life he was a slave. So yeah, he's definitely been through a lot. Okay, I'm gonna make a military squad. We're just gonna assign one dwarf to it. He's gonna be the start of the military squad, and that dwarf is going to be Mavov Stuko's Bowels, I think. Basically the line maker. He's going to be our militia commander. So we're going to assign this dwarf here to be the militia commander of the Gloves of Carnage. So he's going to be that. I think that's going to mean that he's going to want some rooms, right? Nah, he's fine. Doesn't need any rooms. But we're going to have our first militia commander. And eventually we're going to have a proper militia for our dwarves. He's going to be the head of it. I could also put the necromancer in the military, but I think that's really risky. Although I don't think it's as risky as it used to be. We're going to need more tables and chairs, aren't we? We're still constructing those. Our masons aren't very good at masonry either, but they are getting better. It's just taking them a little bit of time in order to get to... Well, we've got one mason. 2 masons. Needs empty food storage item, that's fine. Wooden barrel, that'll make 30. Make some wooden barrels. We've got plenty of drinks anyway, but we'll make some more of those. We have got jugs and stuff like that. Okay, they're finally digging this out, which is nice. So we'll be able to start our beekeeping industry up properly. I think this is our bad miner. We've got one miner who isn't very good. I think that's the new... No, actually that isn't. That's one of our good miners. That's our high master miner. I need to admit now, and it's shameful, never used the order screen, only manual orders at workplaces. Couldn't figure it out and didn't trust my dwarves. To use it, you need to have a manager first. You need to have a manager dwarf, and he's the dwarf who actually makes the orders. So whenever you set an order, he will run to his office, he will scribble it down, and he'll make it official. So if he's drinking, if he's asleep, he won't make the order immediately. But in order to make manager orders, you press J, which brings up the list of jobs that your dwarves are doing. And then you press M, and then you get the work order screen. You just press Q to make a new order. Search for whatever it is you want. I don't know. Statues. Then you find rock statue. You just put in a number, or you can put in 0 for infinite. And then it's just like that. And your dwarf manager will put the order down, and that order will then be automatically added to every available workshop that will accept orders. So these masons workshops here, you can see they've got orders for bauxite thrones, bauxite blocks, bauxite doors, microline coffers, and bauxite tables. If you didn't want a workshop to be messed with orders, then you can go here. You can go across to work orders, and you can actually press enter here, and then general work orders cannot task this shop anymore, and that'll prevent general work orders from tasking that particular shop. So if you wanted like a dedicated, so actually we're going to do that in a second. We're going to make a still in a second. We're going to make a new still. Yeah, so we're going to build a still here, just at the end here, and we'll just make this out of bauxite blocks because it's cheap. So one of our dwarves is going to go and do that. Because this still here, I want to use in order to make, specifically, I want it to make mead. I want it to be a mead making still, and I only want it to make mead. So we're going to go to workshop profiles, we're going to go to work orders, and we're going to press enter. And that means that if we go back here and press JM, although we don't have an order for, yeah we do. We have this order here, brew drink from plants, right? That's the order for making just plant-based drinks. That means that this still here will never be tasked with that task. It will never do it. We can then press Q here, and what we'll be able to do is set an order to make mead, and only task that workshop, so that it will always be made over there, and then we can just have the kind of mead production centralized a bit out of the way, or close to where the hives are. So we're going to make some more stockpiles here as well, actually, just whilst I'm here. Disable that. We need to make a tool stockpile. Here, enable. Then I believe it's under here, so tool. Yeah. So we lock all of that, and we're going to go here and we're going to find tool. Tools made out of wax. And it doesn't matter what their core qualities is, the total quality. So it's just going to be for wax tools. And we're going to build we're going to build a stockpile for that there. They're going to make a new stockpile here for finished goods again. This time it's going to be for what's it called? Jugs. Oh, actually, are jugs considered tools as well? I think they are. We've made the jugs out of what did we make the jugs out of? JM jugs. We've been making jugs out of mudstone. So these are stone mud. Okay, in that case then we'll go here. Finished goods, we want it to be wax. And we also want it to be made out of stone, and we've been making these out of mudstone, specifically some mudstone tools. Mudstone and wax are the only kind of tools that can be built here, can be placed here. So we'll have that mudstone, yep. So it'll be tools, mudstone, core qualities, yeah. So they'll fill that with jugs there. We also want to make a screw press, and for that we're going to need a workshop, and we're going to need a mechanics workshop. So let's build a mechanics workshop. I don't know, just here. Make that out of bauxite blocks as well. That's a temporary workshop. It's going to move at some point. Almost got the roof over the top of that done. It's going to take a little bit longer, but once it's done, it's finally sorted. Honeycomb. Is honeycomb considered a wax? Yeah, wax, yeah. We might already have honeycombs, actually. I'm not sure whether we've already gotten some. Let's actually check our stocks. So they'll be under tools for tea. Nah, we don't have any yet. Okay. We could actually build some more hives. It doesn't matter what we make the hives out of. We'll just make some more rock hives and we'll build, I don't know. Let's build 10. Get a big number of hives. We've only got 4 at the moment, so we don't have loads of hives. I saw the entire explanation, but my internet is coughing, so silent to not risk missing anything. Cheers for the explanation. Yeah, no worries. There is a lot more you can do with work orders as well. So you can do it based on how many goods you are. You can set up a work order so that your dwarfs will check how much of a thing you have in stock before they proceed with the order. I don't usually bother with that. I think that's a level that's too deep for me. It's too much micromanaging. I rather just make what I like to call arbitrary large work orders and then just wait until they're finished. Winter has arrived. We shouldn't be attacked because this is the first year still, but we are going to need to build defenses for the next year. It's taking a while to offload units. Arbitrary large work orders. Just a work order that's like, I don't know, like 100 or something. I don't need 100 beer. I just tell them to make that much, because if they make 100 beer, then, you know, we don't run out. They're just constantly making beer. The other nice thing about work orders as well is that they'll restart the order if they lose the materials for it. So, whereas on a normal beer making order, if you did it from the workshop, you know, they might run out of, I don't know, barrels, right? They'll run out of barrels and then they'll be like, they'll cancel the work order because they can't proceed anymore. But if they're doing it from a work order, they'll just reapply the work order again and then keep checking all the time to see whether they can proceed, which is the other reason why they're really useful. So we've got the finished goods stockpile there. They should be bringing jugs here. I think maybe we're out of bins. Wooden bin. Let's build 30 of those. Then we need to have a stockpile for the products of beekeeping, which is honey. Honeycombs are classified as tools. They're only pressed into honey and wax cakes, which is stored yeah, okay, they'll actually just be stored there. So then we can just make a stockpile over here. Set this to disable. We can set this to food. Block all, and then just enable drinks, animal, mead. Then we just have a mead stockpile there. I just can't be bothered with a probe. I just leave it. I'm kind of lazy. We don't have any mead. We don't have any honey mead yet, by the way, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't see any. I don't see any honeycombs. God, it takes a long time for beekeeping. Yeah, you can do a lot with it all off. You can do a great deal with work orders. Okay, I thought I had somebody doing mechanics. I guess not. Hey, Block the Bleak, welcome. I'm just thinking. Sorry, I'm just thinking to myself, like, what I need to do now. We do need to make some more. Well, we're still making the blocks, right? Yeah, we got more tables and thrones we can put in our dining room. Eventually, this dining room will look better. It's just kind of got a lot of junk in it, got a lot of stones and stuff in it still. But eventually, it'll look neater. One, two. 1, 2. Okay. Like that, maybe? I'm having some more workshops down here. Well, up here. I need to have mechanics workshops, and I'd like to get some... I'd like to also get some... I'd also like to get some other stuff. Do enemies tunnel? No, they don't. There is an option you can enable which will allow them to tunnel if you have Dwarf Hack, but it's very buggy, and it's not a natural thing that they do. They'll only do it if you basically enable it as a behavior. The only creature that destroys walls is basically dwarves. And even if you're attacked by dwarves, they won't tunnel. They won't tunnel if you free a fortress. So a fortress wall is basically impenetrable to a dwarf, to anything. You know, nothing can get through a fortress wall. They're impervious. Constructed walls are the same. Constructed walls, once a wall is constructed, it's impervious to everything. That's how Soap Fortress worked, by the way, Isdar, because even though the fortress wall is made out of soap, it's impervious. It won't be melted, it can't be destroyed. It will stay as it is forever and ever and ever until a dwarf comes along and takes it apart. So, yeah, the exception is with naturally occurring walls made out of ice. A naturally occurring wall that is made out of ice will melt under certain circumstances. So, for example, if this water freezes over, it turns into natural ice, and then once it's warm again, it'll unfreeze. You know, turn back into water. But if it is made by a dwarf, if a dwarf takes a block of ice and constructs it into a wall, I believe that wall will then remain forever. That's my understanding. I could be a bit wrong on that. The other exception is if a cave-in occurs. A cave-in occurs if a block is not supported from the ground. So, you know, if we have an unsupported block floating in air, it'll cave in, collapse, the wall collapses, and it drops to the layer below it. It drops down a layer, and then kills anything that's underneath it. Controlled cave-ins are an effective way of defeating people, because you can collapse an entire you can collapse an entire tunnel on top of a goblin invasion, and then they will die. Or you can do it on top of, I don't know, any kind of invader you can think of, really. But that's the other way that they collapse. But other than that, walls are basically impervious. I think the only other kind of wall that is kind of like a wall is like twigs, tree branches, because they can. Well, I don't know, doesn't really count. But yeah. Oh, bridges as well. Bridges are kind of like a weird exception. A raised bridge is impervious. So when a bridge is raised, it becomes an impervious wall. When a bridge is lowered, it can be destroyed. And if you try and raise a bridge when there are certain kinds of enemies on top of the bridge will deconstruct. But that's only if it's a large enemy. So only large creatures deconstruct bridges. Same if you try and drop a bridge on top of certain monsters, the bridge deconstructs. So you can't crush to death, for example, a forgotten. Actually, I think you can crush a forgotten beast to death. You can't crush to death a titan, a bronze colossus. You can't crush a bronze colossus to death with a bridge anymore. You used to be able to. And Block the Bleak wants to have a dwarf. Is there any particular kind of dwarf you want? Because we do have a few in the fortress. We don't have a name for this necromancer. He could be the necromancer if you wanted. We have a dwarven necromancer in the fortress who is milling about. So if you wanted to be him, you could be our resident necromancer. Sounds swell. Yeah, sure. Bleak the necromancer. That is a good name for a necromancer, actually. Okay, where is he? His name is Atis. He's a jeweler. Let's change his name to Bleak. There we go. Sorted. Okay, so I was going to build some. I was going to build a mechanics workshop over here. I only need one. I'll just build that in the corner there. We'll make that out of bauxite blocks. Did my music stop again? Seriously? Have I gone through 3 different soundtracks in already? Feels like I have. Let's go with Stronghold Crusade. We don't have any mechanics. I'm going to set the Necromancer to be the mechanic for the time being. I do have one other dwarf who's a mechanic, but I think he's been busy this entire time. So I'm going to set Bleak to be a mechanic for a short time. I need some mechanisms so we can build some drawbridges. We'll also go here. Build some more blocks here. I really do like this red colour. It's a really nice colour. Oh, also, if our miners aren't mining, we'll tell them to start engraving, and you know, that'll get them some more masonry skills. Or actually, we can do that tip, that little bit of advice we got from Harold earlier, and we could actually make an engravers guild. Why don't we do it over here? Why don't we have guilds on this level? We could have some guild halls over here. Although I'm not quite sure how we're going to do that. How do we want to have guild halls? We want them to be pretty grand guild halls. We'll leave that, actually. We'll leave that for now. I will build a guild hall, though, somewhere. I won't do it on this level. Maybe we want it to come along here like this. Like that. And that on that side as well. Build kind of like a ring around here, and then we can have guild halls around our dining room. It does help to keep our dwarves in a kind of central location, which I like. I like my dwarves to be in one sort of area at a time. It means that they can't get up to so much trouble, you know. Although this looks a bit weird. I think that needs to be... maybe this one. think like that, actually. I think that looks a bit better. That isn't even. Yeah, that isn't even. Nothing wrong here. That is even, I think. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. That looks even to me, but I don't know if it actually is. This block is 1 away from that. That's 2 away. That's 3 away. That one is 1, 2, 3, 4 away. 1, 2, 3, 4. That one's 1, 2, 3, 4. This one is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, and that's 3. Yeah, I think that's even. If it isn't, I can't see it. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna trust my gut. Fear the mechanisms I create and resurrect from dead rocks. Yeah, you'll also be making us some nice encrusted mechanisms, I suppose. Also some nice statues. This is some very exotic music right now. I'm not sure whether I like the soundtrack, actually. I probably want something else. Not really the sort of... You know what? I'm just gonna put the FTL soundtrack on. Sod it. FTL soundtrack. That'll do. It's a bit more of a subtle soundtrack, but we'll have the FTL soundtrack on. The dwarves are belly dancing to that jam. I mean, dwarves do dance, although they need to have temples or inns or taverns usually. I think it's taverns actually, in order for them to dance. But dwarves can dance. Yeah, you can watch them dance. Suddenly, there's fortresses in space. Isn't every fortress by implication in space? I mean, you know, as in it occupies a place within, you know, the world. Like, somewhat necessarily. Just putting that out there. Like, name one fortress that doesn't exist in space. Yeah. I don't like that. It's too silly. Underground, the final frontier. Non-Euclidean fortress. That'll be the last. That'll be the one day. You know, once we finish everything else, we can do in Dwarf Fortress. We'll try and build the non-Euclidean fortress. That'll be the final thing that we do. I thought you were going for Klingon Space Fortress there. To be honest, I think dwarves are more like the Ferengi than they are like the Klingons, let's be honest. Actually, I don't know if Ferengi is an accurate comparison. Deep Space Nine Ferengi, not TNG Ferengi. If that means anything to you. I mean, you know, like, they're still pretty silly, but... Okay, let's just move all this down. The 79th rule of acquisition: never give anything to an elf. We do pay them all off. We pay them handsomely in Latinum. You know, it's just that we, you know, after we've deducted rent, food expenses, living costs, you know, clothing, all that other stuff. It's just that after we've deducted all of those expenses, there isn't any money left over to give them. You know. What can I say? It's unfortunate. I've actually been watching a lot of Star Trek recently, specifically TNG. I just when the Stellaris update came out, I just wanted to watch it because I was like thinking of it. The update kind of made me think about it, so I started watching a lot of it again, and yeah, I've had it on my mind a little, but I haven't been watching Deep Space Nine, just TNG at the moment. Alright, workshop, screw press. We need screw presses. Oh, we don't have any mechanisms yet, do we? Yeah, that is true. Well, I've been watching the first season episodes so far, and honestly, some of them are pretty bad. Like TNG has some really bad episodes, and a lot of them were in the first season as well. But I just been watching them when I haven't been doing anything else. I've been playing like RuneScape or something, just put it on in the background. I wanna get through all of them and then just watch them all. Just get them all done, get them all watched again. So eventually we'll get to the good ones, but I've been watching a lot of the really awful ones as well. Still, it's not as awful. I don't think it's as awful as... actually, maybe some of them are as awful as... I was going to say the original series, when they had the like really later episodes in the original series. Oh my god, I think the one that stands out to me is the one where they steal... The one where they steal Spock's brain. There's like an episode of the original series... where they steal Spock's brain, and it's really dumb. Oh my god. Yeah, that is correct, Orlov. I shouldn't be watching it. I just want to watch it and just get it done. Yeah. TOS is special indeed. Yeah, TOS original series, the original show, I guess, or the original series. You know, with Captain Kirk. Captain Kirk, you know, William Shatner. Bones and Friends, the show, yeah. Bones is the best character, or one of them anyway. Actually, no, he is the best character. Damn it, Jim! I'm a doctor, not a not a dwarven engineer. I think that's how a lot of my dwarves feel when they turn up in my fortress. Oh, this reminds me of something actually. I don't know how many of you are aware of this, but if you aren't aware of it, then it's something that once you found out about it, you'll kind of wish that you didn't know it. But when I worked at, because over Christmas I worked at a music shop, right? Like I was doing temporary work at a music shop, and you know, we were able to play we had to play Christmas music. Normally, we'd get to decide what kind of we'd get to decide what kind of music we'd put on, as you'd expect. But obviously, as soon as Christmas hits, you got to put on the Christmas music. But we could decide what kind of Christmas music we played. And sometimes, when we wanted to really annoy customers, just because we could or because we were bored or whatever, we'd pop out a little album, a very famous album. Well, not famous, sorry. Famous to me. A very special album. Did you know that William Shatner made an album of Christmas music once? It's true. It exists. It is really awful. Really, really awful. You have not lived until you have heard William Shatner sing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I can't describe it. I'm not even going to attempt to imitate it. I'm not even going to play it because I think I'd get copyright striked if I put this on YouTube and played it. But just after the stream, when you got a bit of time, just look for it. In fact, I'll post it in my Discord. I'll post the link in my Discord later for the whole playlist. The absolute worst Christmas music you can imagine. And Christmas music is pretty bad to begin with, in my opinion. That's mostly from having worked in retail and having to listen to a lot of it, but I'm not a fan of Christmas music to begin with. But yeah, we used to put it on. I don't know, kind of. I think we used to put it on just to kind of see how long it'd take customers to notice. Because people don't really pay attention to the music in shops. So I mean, it's just Christmas music, right? But yeah, it is exactly how you think it is with the pauses and everything. He's like, Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer, had a very shiny nose. Yeah, it's exactly like that, honestly. It's really, really awful. Oh my god. I really wish I could play it for you guys over the stream, but I don't want to get copyright struck for it if I upload this to YouTube later, so. Okay, yeah, we're gonna have some anyway, back to what I was doing. We're gonna have some guild halls here. That's what I'm digging these out. 2, 3. Oh, I bollocksed it up. I knew I'd bollocksed it up. That should be 1, 2, 3. Actually, I can fix this. I made this one wider than this one, so this one here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, wait, it's the same width. Then why is this wrong? 1, 2, 3. It isn't wrong. I'm just imagining it. 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay, never mind. I didn't bollocks it up. I thought I did for some reason. I have mid-experience. Oh, have you been? Did you look it up after I mentioned it? Man, that job is a really good Christmas job. Just a temporary job, but honestly, we had some really interesting customers. Interesting in a bad way, I guess. I had an old man. Well, I think he was an old man. I had a elderly customer, come to the counter, and he had a CD in his hand, and he came up to me. This guy had like pitch black hair. His hair was pitch black. It was very obviously fake. It looked like it'd been dipped in tar. It looked like a wig that had been dipped in oil, basically. Really greasy, nasty looking. This guy comes up to me and he has the CD in his hand. It's like album, and he says, "Can you play a song from this album, because I don't think I've ever heard it before, and I want to know what it sounds like before I buy it." So I'm like, "Yeah, okay." So I take the CD off of him to have a look at what song he wants me to play for him, and he points it out on the back. It's like, the list of songs in the back. He wants me to play it for him, and I look at the list, and the song he's pointing at, it's a CD of Christmas music. And the song he wants me to play is "It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year." And I was just trying to imagine what kind of person has never heard that song before. Like, what kind... Because he was in a shop in the middle of Christmas, presumably if you walked into any other shop, there's at least a decent chance that that'd be one of the songs that'd be playing. And I don't know, it just really threw me off. That did. It's kind of like having an out of body experience. You, I don't know. It just really did something to me that day. So of course I played it for him because, like, why not, right? If he really wants to hear it's the most wonderful time of the year for the first time in his life, then so be it. But I just have no way of anticipating a question like that. Like I can't mentally prepare myself for something like that. I don't know. Just really strange. Just really strange. I don't know. I have a lot of stories like that from working in retail. Just some of the people you meet. It's not the worst job, but you do meet some interesting people. Interesting being the operative word. Okay, they're mining that out. We're just kind of being a bit lazy at the moment. I do need to do some other stuff. I need to get a bridge up here. We should also now have mechanisms as well, so we can build the screw presses. I'm going to build a couple. We don't really need to, but I'll build two anyway. I'll just, yeah, build two screw presses over there. We're going to build two rooms. These are going to be guild halls eventually. I'm going to need some statues as well, actually. So let's make some statues. We'll make... how many will we make? Let's make 10. And we'll set the details on this. Specify stone. And we'll make them out of bauxite. Just 10 bauxite statues. We'll let the dwarves decide what kind of statues they want to make. I'm not going to tell them to make specific statues. So we'll see what kind of statues they come up with. It'll be interesting to see. Usually it's really crap, but God only knows what they'll make. Also, the outpost liaison is doing that bug where they refuse to leave. So the outpost liaison is still here. Oh, I think I have an animal I wanted to butcher. I have a kitten, puppy, goat kids, so I probably want to butcher that. Nah, I don't think it's a grazer. If it's not a grazer, then we could keep it. I mean, even if it is a grazer, we could probably chain it up outside and let it eat. Okay, how far are they on the stone crafting anyway? God, one of them's level 7 now. Nice. Another one's level 6. This is like grinding in RuneScape. Takes forever to get anything done after a certain point. What limits and customization are there on statues? It's a bit arbitrary. I don't really know how to explain the limitations. It's just kind of like see what you can and can't do. Like you can usually do a fair bit, but there, you know, it's kind of limited. Not only can you customize statues all off, but if you spend 2,000 channel points, I will build a custom statue designed as close to your specifications as possible, and we'll place it in the fortress. Same with engravings, but that's 1,000. So yeah, trying to put the channel points to good use. I mean, you know, might as well use them, right? Might as well use them. Oh yeah, we need what? Yeah, you wanted the commander statue, didn't you, Anubis? I can do that for you now if you wanted. If you wanted to do the commander statue. We actually have the militia commander, so Mathloth, we can make a statue of him. We don't have a doctor yet, no. It'll be a while before we have a doctor. Probably next stream we'll have a doctor, so... next stream will be probably when we start setting up the hospital. We need to wait for some more immigrants before we do that. But as soon as we get a doctor, you can certainly have him if you want him. Let's build you a statue though. So we'll make this out of bauxite so that it's a nice and red statue. And we'll specify the image. So yeah, this is the customization screen. Specify a new image. And we need to have a historical figure. So you can see here we can have literally every historical figure in the game, including people we've literally never heard of, or just all sorts of random ass people. Like all these dwarves that are called Zolban. But we're going to filter, and we're going to look for Mathloth. His name was Mathloth, Maffle, Stuco. This is the guy. Razor is revered, the dwarf. This statue is called the Barbarian of Tomes, by the way. That's what the image will be called. So it's Stuco Sabang, Maffle Razor revered. Now we can give him some kind of action. We need to give him something he's doing, because at the moment it's just a statue of him. So we could do a statue of him, and I don't know. You did say you wanted him naked, but you can't really specify what he's wearing. It's just an image of him. But we could, for example, have a, I don't know, creature. So this is just generic, non-specific creatures. We could have a zebra demon. Oh, this is also technically spoilers because it shows you all the demons and stuff that exist in the world. Sorry, clowns. It shows you all the clowns that exist in the world. We could have the spouse of the vile woman, consort of the vile hag, Altweb's mistake, two-humped camel man, a swamp titan, three-eyed horror, spotted ratfish, snow ghost, snow fiend, snowy owl, skink woman, skink man, sepia brute. I don't know what a sepia brute is. A towering noseless bison twisted into humanoid form. It squirms and fidgets. Its sepia hair is very curly. Beware its deadly spittle. But yeah, we could also do, for example, elf. Ten elves. So this is an image of our military commander and 10 elves. And then we can do an action or relationship. So the military commander is fighting with the elves. The Barbarian of Tomes is an image of Maffle Razored Revered, the dwarf, and 10 elves. Maffle Razored Revered is fighting with the 10 elves. The 10 elves look terrified. So yeah, you can do quite complicated statues. You can do quite detailed statues. A good one is, like, if you find out that one of your dwarves really hates something, you can make a statue of that creature and put it in his bedroom just to annoy him. You know, if you got like really awful nobles, then if you got a noble in your fortress that you hate and he loves slugs, then he hates slugs. Then fill his room with statues of slugs, for example. But yeah, I think this is a good statue. I don't know what you think, Anubis. I mean, you were the one who requested a statue of the military commander. I can change it for you if you want to change it at all. But I think this is a pretty good one. Alright, let's press Y, and then it's done. And then the dwarf will go and construct that statue. Okay, we've got all the bauxite blocks we needed now, so that's all done there. We can close off the roof here. We also want to make a bridge here. We're going to need quite a big bridge. Well, we don't need a big bridge, but having a big one kind of makes it look nicer. That's how I feel about it anyway. We'll build it here. We're going to make it out of bauxite. Nice red bridge. We'll make it out of bauxite blocks specifically. So, there we go. Bauxite blocks. Nice red bridge. It's going to raise this way towards the fortress entrance. So once we've got this covered up here, the only other way into the fortress will be down here. Goblins will be able to climb down through here, possibly. They can climb down the walls, they can even jump down maybe. But they will risk falling into the water, and we can also make another bridge here. So we'll probably just do that. We'll just make another bridge here that will act as a way to close entrance into this. And we'll build that here. We'll make this out of bauxite blocks again. And that's all of our bauxite blocks used exactly, perfectly. Oh, it's been a bit laggy. Not sure why. Okay, so that's all there. We've got all that there. We got ourselves a mechanics workshop. We need that obviously in order to be able to build bridges, so that we can close the entranceway. You know, keep everybody safe. We've got this completely covered off now, so nobody can get inside the hive. In fact, we probably want to build some more hives in here because we should have some more bauxite hives that we can just place down here, and you know, we can fill this with more bees. They're really the limit on the amount of hives you can have is roughly 40, although it isn't an exact science. Like, you can go slightly over that cap, but 40 is usually the limit on how many beehives you can have. So we'll build another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 beehives, and that'll bring us up to 10 in total, which should give us a decent. It's not ever going to give us a lot of stuff from this. I mean, this is really not a. Yeah, you can see now that we got honeycombs in these as well. I don't know if he's actually collected any of these yet. Doesn't look like he has. These ones were built first, so these ones might not have honeycombs in them. Mead ingredients, yeah. Mead ingredient is only a single ingredient, and that's honey. You press the honeycomb into... you get royal jelly and honey, and then they are both pressed into... Well, the honeycomb is pressed into honey and wax, and then you can use the wax to make waxworks. It's the only thing you can make out of it. And then you can use the honey to brew into mead, and that's how you do it. But yeah, we need to do that. And once that's done, then we'll be able to produce a different kind of wine. Because at the moment, our kitchen, as you can see, we've got a lot of plum helmets, and that's it. And we've also got a lot of dwarven wine. We don't make any other kind of wine. Oh, we've already got some royal jelly. So that means we should actually... Oh, actually, yeah, that's the royal jelly that's in the beehives. They haven't gotten out yet. We've set in these ones here to not be gathered, so they will never gather these two beehives, and that's so that there's always a beehive ready to split into a new beehive. Because you can see here, it says ready to split. That means he's going to take that beehive and then split it in half, and then put one side into the other hive. But that's kind of how that works. So yeah, it's not a very valuable industry. It doesn't produce a lot of value. Beehives are actually basically worth nothing. Sorry, honey is worth 1. Royal jelly is worth nothing. Wax is worth very little. But you can set it up. You only need like 1 dwarf really to do it. It's not very labor intensive, and you can get access to a kind of alcohol that's a bit unique. Mead is the only kind of animal-based alcohol you can make in the game. You can't make any others. So that's something that's a bit unique about it compared to any other kind of alcohol. It's also very low value, but other than that, yeah. Alright, they're using architecture. Our miners are architects, so they should go and do that. One of those quality of life upgrades that makes dwarves hate trees a little less, almost enough to declare and leave. Peace. I don't think we're going to be declaring peace with the trees or with the elves, to be honest. Oh wait, this one doesn't count as... Okay, so you see this here. This one doesn't count as being outside because it's been built underneath here. So we're actually going to have to channel this out here. But we can just channel that, and then that turns that into... That gets rid of the roof, and then we just build a roof back over the top of it. And then it counts as being outside again. Just an annoying little thing that we're going to have to do real quick. I really doubt that, Anubis. You can already do it with modding. It's not hard to mod. It's just that at the moment the game breaks if you have more than one playable race at a time, at least in Fortress mode. The other thing is as well is that I don't think elves have access to certain things, for example, and I don't think humans do either, and it makes playing them really difficult just because for whatever reason they aren't able to make certain things. Or I don't know. I know that you can do it with modding, and there are also mods that do the same thing anyway. So there's a very famous mod called Kobold Camp where you play as a kobold and you make a camp. There's also the Masterwork mod which adds more playable races and stuff like that. I think that one lets you play as clowns as well, but I've never really messed around with Masterwork. But yeah, I doubt that the Steam release will come with that. It's not. I don't think that'd be what Toadie would do as a priority, to be honest. There's too much stuff he wants to do in the game before he gets to that sort of level. I mean, I wouldn't say it's impossible. I just don't think it's true. I don't think that that's a rumor. It should be. I don't think it's a true rumor. Alright. Okay, yeah, they've carved that. Okay, so now that's considered outside. So now we can build a floor over the top of this real quick. Yeah, it'll take Toadie ages to do all the things he wants to do anyway. It's going to take a long time before we're it's going to be a while before we're at that stage, I think. Okay. This bridge is now being designed. The first bauxite bridge. Does he make a living off of Dwarf Fortress? Yeah. It's entirely Patreon based at the moment. It used to just be donate through PayPal. But he lives off of it as far as I know. Toadie, I don't know if his brother does. It's Toadie and his brother. So maybe his brother does something as well. But Dwarf Fortress is entirely free. I believe the Steam version will cost money, I think. I'm not sure. But even with the Steam release, the normal Dwarf Fortress will continue as before. So there'll still just be, you know, basic Dwarf Fortress that you can get. Oh, it needs a mason. That's going to take ages to build that. Because our masons are constantly just making bauxite blocks, tables, all that. We probably don't need any more bauxite blocks, to be honest. Anyway, I'm going to call it here. I need to go get some food. We've been streaming for about 3.5 hours now, so I hope you've enjoyed it. And thank you to everybody who showed up today, and we'll see you again next time. Yeah, we've been, you know, it's been a good run. We've accomplished a lot. Tomorrow we'll play some Stellaris, so we'll continue with Dwarf Fortress probably on Monday or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, thanks everybody for coming along anyway, and you know, we'll continue with it when we get the chance. This is I think going to be a pretty interesting fortress. No elves have died today, but we do have a necromancer, and you know, that's pretty uncommon, so to speak. So we'll have the necromancer doing some stuff, and yeah, let's see if there's anybody that we can raid. Maybe there's somebody that we can raid who's playing Dwarf Fortress or something like that. You can go spam their chat with my emotes if you want. No, not really. Just here, you know what? We've got Mr. Nitro himself, the expert at Europa Universalis, and every game he plays, we'll go and raid him. And yeah, I don't know if he'll probably tell me he's finishing streaming as soon as I raid him, but we'll go and raid him nevertheless. So let's go raid the king of video games. King of video games. Dr. Nitram. I think they're doing the EU4 multiplayer, aren't they? So let's go just raid him. And I'm gonna go and grab something to eat once that's done, and I'll see you guys again. Hey, next time, you know, if you want to see more, then I'll make sure to follow as well. That's the other thing you have to say. Alright, see you guys later.